or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Drake.
Well, I hope you've had time to fully recover from Wednesday night because the Kings back at it tonight against Toronto here at the Golden One Center. Hard to know what's likely to happen tonight. The Kings, of course, are up and down. Toronto is a new-look team. One of the few things that we know for sure is that on the call tonight on NBC Sports California, Kyle Draper, Mr. Play-by-Play.
You know, I said it the other day, and I'll say it again. We had the game against Charlotte. Love you, Mark Jones, but the team took a bad L. They said, Drake, we need a big win, and your boy delivered. This is a huge game tonight, so I'm back on the call. I'm bringing the good vibes coming up tonight at 7 o'clock.
I'm surprised you went there. I understand what you're saying.
What do you mean?
Well, given
my ego is huge. What are you talking about?
Mark Jones' brother is going to be on.
Yeah.
He's coming on with us at the bottom of the hour.
That's true.
Because he's a play-by-play guy for the Raptors. One of the big questions tonight, of course, is are the Kings going to be taking on a future teammate? And that has become a big story again today. Your friend Kevin O'Connor writing about, hey, the Kings need to go out and get Pascal Siakam. We'll talk about that. I'm not sure. Appreciate the piece and the piece offering, but I'm not sure he really introduced anything new to the discussion.
No, exactly. No, he's trying to, I forget. What did he say? In the tweet that he put out there, I come in peace, literally, Sacramento.
Yeah.
But yet he won't come on the air. That's a different topic. But, we all know Pascal has been on the radar. We had our boy Jake Fisher on the other day, yesterday, and we talked about that. And he mentioned that. And, I would like Pascal, especially if I know he's going to re-sign here. Like, that would be the only way I would do that move. But to me, it's looking bleak. And I know we're going to get into this, and I'll tell you why right now, Kings fans. What happened down the road in San Francisco last night, to me, makes the Warriors now a team with some attractive young pieces that they may be trying to move, and a guy like Pascal Siakam could help them out in a big way.
Sounds like you're thinking that Mr. Kuminga may be on the move.
I think so, and we're going to talk about Sham's report, but, I forgot who said it. The great Cedric Maxwell used to say it, the ship be sinking, and that's what's happening down there with Golden State right now. Their ship is sinking, and it sounds like Kuminga wants off. It sounds like Moody wants off. It sounds like Steve Kerr has lost the team, at least a portion of it, and so I fully expect Golden State to make some major moves before February 8th.
It's kind of sad to see that thing unravel. And I know there are a lot of Kings fans who don't share that sentiment. They're like, yeah, look at what's going on with the Warriors. Well, as you said, we'll talk more about that. I mean, Steve Kerr's been a great coach, and now, people are questioning him and players are questioning him. Before we get any further, Kuminga, maybe Andrew Wiggins. If you're the Kings, you think you'd have any interest in either of those guys?
Can we throw in Moody? Moody in that as well?
Sure.
And when I look at those players, Kuminga stands out to me. And here's why. He's 6'7", 6'8". I get it. Keegan's 6'8". Harrison Barnes 6'8". But his wingspan is 6'11", 7 foot. Athletic. Play above the rim. 21 years old. I would be all in on Jonathan Kuminga if I'm Sacramento. We may not have the pieces. What would Golden State want? Because Golden State, if you're trading a guy like Kuminga, if you're trading Moody, you need somebody that can help you right now win a championship. And that's why the Siakam makes so much sense for Golden State. He's a ready-made player. Come in. He can help you right now. Who do we have asset-wise that's going to help you win right now? We got the picks. But I don't know how interested they are in picks. So Jonathan Kuminga, I'm definitely picking up the phone. I'm calling Mike Dunleavy Jr. if I'm Monty McNair, and I'm seeing what it would take. If you could somehow pry him away, I think that's a big get.
My guess, having covered that team since a little before Kuminga got there, is that ownership feels like he's one of their foundational pieces. I'd be surprised if they traded him. I mean, it may even be to the point where if it's a matter of Kerr or Kuminga,
really,
I mean, I'm not that they're going to let Steve Kerr go right in the middle of the season, but I think ownership really loves Kuminga and sees him as one of their building blocks for the future. So I could be totally wrong. I'd be surprised if they move off of him. He asked for a trade. Was at the end of last year? He immediately, as soon as the season ended, there was a story that came out. Kuminga, through his agent, wants to be traded. And the Warriors, oh, no.
Right,
we'll work it out. So I'm also not sure I want Kuminga, but I can't disagree with you that, wow, he is an absolutely, even by NBA standards, special athlete.
Special athlete, and he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
This is the kind of guy we were talking about. You go out there and get somebody who maybe doesn't have quite the role. You put him in a new situation, and he can blossom. There's no doubt we've seen. Heck, we saw flashes in this building from Jonathan Kuminga. He is a load to deal with when he's playing well. And so I would take one of all three, to be honest with you. I'd even take Andrew Wiggins. And let me tell you why. 28 years old. It seems like Wiggins has been around forever. At his best, which he was during that championship run a couple of years ago, and he defends too. He's an elite defender. Andrew Wiggins is an elite defender. 7-foot wingspan himself. Former number 1 overall pick. The price tag for Wiggins might be less than what it is for Kuminga. And so you may be able to get something. Here's the thing about Golden State. They got a log jam at the 3-4 spot. Moody, Kuminga, Wiggins, Draymond when he comes back. Exactly. And so they got to clear something up. And I would even look at Wiggins. If I'm Monty, I would take a look at Wiggins. I'm not sure what's going on. We know he had the issues off the floor last season, took a lot of time off, hasn't been great this season. He might need a change of scenery. Come on up here to Sacramento and be a part of something special.
One of the things they're saying in Golden State, as you probably know, is that Kuminga and Wiggins on the floor at the same time is not working. Steve Kerr's, but that's not just something that people are whispering about. Steve Kerr has been open about that. He says, yeah, it's just for whatever reason, it's not clicking. So if they're dissatisfied with the situation one way or the other, Wiggins, I think, would be the guy that they would try to move. Here's a beautiful thing from the Kings standpoint.
Yeah.
I think if you have any interest in any of those guys, you go to Mike Brown, who was there, and he probably knows right away, oh, Moody, yeah, or whatever. Like, nah, I just don't want that guy because of this or that. But you don't really have to go much further than that as far as determining whether you should be interested in those players or not.
Yeah, and that's an easy conversation to have, right?
Yeah.
Heck, Mike might have even walked up to Monty's. Hey, if they make this guy available, trust me, he's and so I firmly expect, like I said, Golden State has to do something. And the problem is their best assets are the three guys you just mentioned. Nobody wants Klay Thompson right now. Nobody wants Draymond Green right now.
He's doing better.
He's doing better.
De'Aaron Fox in the All-Star vote.
Oh, yeah. No, is he?
Or maybe he's
one behind.
Okay,
he's one behind. Yeah, I was about to say he's one behind De'Aaron Fox. But nobody wants those other guys.
Nope.
Their biggest assets are Moody, Kuminga, Wiggins. And that's why the team we'll see tonight, Toronto, it just makes too much sense. And I know, the reports are out there that the Kings are interested in Siakam. I'll be honest. The Warriors could put together a better package than we could.
Right.
If you're Toronto, knowing what Toronto wants. We saw what they did with the Knicks, young players. Well, if the Warriors are going to move off from their young players, they got two of them that they can move off.
And they've even got a Canadian they can throw in there.
Yeah.
Wiggins.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like Anunoby moved for a package that included a Canadian. Here's the thing about Siakam that I don't think Kevin O'Connor addressed adequately in his piece today. And I'm like, he was like, great peace offering. Okay, that's fine. You write good stuff. But the thing about Siakam is he has made it clear, according to Mark Stein, that wherever I go, I'm not re-signing. Now I'm going to go through free agency.
Right.
Maybe I re-sign after that. but I'm not going to go somewhere and stop and then sign an extension. It doesn't make sense for him to do that because, as we talked a couple days ago, if you get traded to, say, Sacramento, the biggest extension you could sign right away would be a 2-year. If he becomes the free agent unrestricted, then he can sign a 4-year. And maybe he decides to stay with you, maybe not. But that's a huge gamble.
It's a huge gamble, but I'll turn it around like this, because our boy Jake Fisher, who came on with us yesterday, he wrote a piece today, and he mentioned how Sacramento has reportedly made Harrison Barnes, Herter, and Davion available in the trade market. Would you move any of those guys, all of those guys, for half a year rental from Siakam in the hopes that, all right, you're going to end the free, but we hope we can re-sign you?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You would jump at that, huh? Wow.
Yeah. I think the only one that gives me a little pause is you mentioned Davion.
Right.
And I think, didn't Kevin O'Connor say something like Herter and Barnes and a 1-ish pick? I think that's the way he framed it. I'd be all in on that too. I would. You're
for
you guys second that?
a 3-month rental.
At least.
Yeah.
Right. And then, as he points out, then if you lose Siakam, then you got some cap space.
You got space.
Yeah.
Okay. This next month is going to be fun.
Uh-huh.
We're about 34 days, 35 days away from the trade deadline, and it's clear there are going to be a lot of teams making some moves. We talked about Golden State, Toronto. The Lakers are reeling right now, too. They're going to be a player. I firmly expect Philly to do something as well. And so if you're Sacramento, and this is why Monty McNair, part of the reason we talked about it when he re-signed Harrison Barnes, 3-year contract. It's a movable contract if you decide to go that route. $18 million a year is not a whole lot in the whole scheme of life. And if you can get a Kuminga, Siakam, Wiggins, Monty's all about upgrading the roster. You know, guys have been loyal, but guys have been great. But if you have a chance to upgrade your roster without upsetting whatever chemistry, the locker room, whatever, I think you got to. He would not be doing his job, his due diligence, what he owes to the franchise and the city without exploring that.
I'm not as high on Wiggins as you are. And
Tell me why, though. Tell me why.
Because something happened to him. The year they won the championship, it was like he became the player everyone thought he could be. He was that player. Duncan over Luka. It was like, oh, my goodness. Last year, something, I don't know what happened. We hear rumors, whispers, whatever.
Yeah.
He hasn't been the same since then. He's been closer to what he had been before they won the championship, which was, he was one of those guys like people complain about Barnes being like sometimes impactful, other games. Is he out there? So I like him, but it's a big risk right now because he just seems like he's not there all the time.
I don't know. I'm not going to write off Andrew Wiggins yet. I'm a big believer, Whitey, and we've talked about this, and I thought about this earlier. Situation and fit matters in the NBA.
I agree.
And something happened with Wiggins, whether on the court, off the court, behind the scenes, locker room, whatever it is. But he's been a changed player ever since last season.
Yes, we agree.
And I feel like he needs a change of scenery. You say, oh, he hasn't been there. And I don't want to just do a numbers thing because I hear what you're saying. Like, he has great potential. He's never really lived up to it. Second year in Minnesota, 20.7. Third year, 23.6. Went down to 17.7, 18.1. Between Minnesota and Golden State, 21.8. First full year in Golden State, 19.4, 18.6, 17.2, 7. And so, and he's a elite defender, long defender.
Good defender. I don't know if he's elite. He's a good defender.
Right. You remember as well as I do, Whitey, you watched the NBA Finals as closely as I did. He locked down Jason Tatum.
Yeah, he can be.
He locked down Jason Tatum.
Yes.
And so I think whatever's going on down there, he needs a change of scenery. Come here. Expectations aren't going to be, Wiggins, we need you to be 24, 25 points per game. Wiggins comes here. What is he? Fourth option?
Yeah.
Because you still got Keegan.
Mm-hmm.
You got Sabonis. And so I like the move. And he's only 28 still.
Here's the thing I can't forget about Wiggins. And remember, honestly, I like him and he plays hard. Remember, Minnesota moved off of him. You pointed out his numbers. They were very good. He was a number 1 pick. They got traded to them and the whole LeBron thing. Minnesota thought his contract was so onerous that they traded him and the pick that ended up being Kuminga, ended up being the number 7 pick, traded both of them for D'Angelo Russell because they wanted so badly.
Who won that trade?
To get out from under that.
Who won that trade?
Eventually, I would say the Warriors won that trade.
Wiggins helped the Warriors win the championship.
Yeah, no question. No question. I just don't know if he's that same guy. I hope for his sake he is. I'm not sure. Again, it's about assuming that risk. We'll get back to it. A quick timeout here coming up here. You just heard the horn. we got
to take the timeout.
Yeah, we got to take the timeout. Boy, yeah, we'll take it full. No, we're gonna take a 20. All right. Yeah, you'd rather be the Kings than the Warriors or the Lakers right now. And isn't that nice? Right back with more on that and trade talk from the Golden One Center. It's a Drive Guy Sactown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, up your soft on the party. This is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The cream is always soft. It's our party vice. Everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
We're for Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La 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 la.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
I tell you what, we're watching some girls basketball out here at Golden One. I know my daughter years ago, she went to St. Francis. She got to play out here once, and it was it was the other building, pardon me. But yeah, I know it's a big thrill, but I feel for these young ladies because they don't have deep rosters, and I don't think they're used to playing on the 94-foot court. You know?
Yeah.
It's not easy. We don't have one.
We don't have, you know what? It should be like the 35-year-old in up league, no fast break, just walk it up, run the offense. I mean, this court is massive. Like, even sitting up here looking at it now from our vantage point where we are on the concourse level here, it looks massive compared to your local gym, your local high school court. I mean, it is no joke.
You just, I guess you saw an and one or something. You got
somebody got it. Yeah, I'm just warming up for tonight. The bucket and the foul. I think she missed the free throw though. But I'm just warming up for tonight, man.
You have any idea what to expect tonight before we get back to the trade talk and everything?
No, not really. I'm worried about tonight. I think this Raptors team is an improved team since they made the trade.
Quickly's good, huh?
Quickly's good. Scored 20-plus points in both games so far. Barrett's good. And here's what the Raptors did. As much as we like OG, two-way player, they added two guys that can not only go off for 20 on any given night, they can go off for 30 on it. So if you're scouting them, if you're preparing for them, you got Scotty Barnes, who's had his way with us recently. You got Siakam. Now you're throwing Barrett and Quickly. And so they got four guys in that starting lineup that can get you 25 on any given night.
So if you're the Raptors, you're Masai Ujiri, aren't you trying to do with Siakam if you move him the same thing you did with Anunoby? And shouldn't you be able to get better pieces for Siakam?
Yes. And, if I'm Masai Ujiri, and I'll be honest with you, I would not want to trade Siakam. But the fact that he's going to go to free agency and you would lose him for nothing, I understand it. You got to make the move. Your hand is forced. You lost Fred VanVleet for no reason, without getting anything. Siakam has made it clear he's going to get to free agency. So if you're Toronto, I get it. You don't want to lose him for nothing. But Siakam works well with what I've seen from the Raptors these first couple of games. I think you add a couple of pieces. Maybe you improve the center. Maybe you build up the bench. They can be a top 4, top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. But they're going to move on from Siakam. And I believe, yes, you can get a better package than what we saw from OG. Siakam's an all-star. He was an all-star last year, Whitey.
Yeah.
This guy has an all-star level talent. And so I think if you're the Lakers, do you look at a Siakam? I don't know what you could offer. I don't know. Sixers, do you look at it? I mean, I think a lot of contenders will be interested in Pascal Siakam.
Now, if you're the Kings and you have an idea how much you would give up, what your best offer would be, but you got to sit on that, right? Because if you offer that now, Toronto is in no hurry. They've got to the deadline. Yeah. It just makes sense for them to wait until the deadline and then see what the best offer is. If you're the Kings, you're trying to steal. Well, let's just get it done now. We'll offer you this. Toronto's not going to jump at anything, and then all you're doing is raising the price tag for them.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've already included your asset. You can't go any higher.
Right.
It's sort of like poker, right?
Uh-huh.
You push your chips all in, then you just got to sit back and hope you win. And this Golden State thing is throwing a monkey wrench, I think, in the plans because Toronto we've seen it. They want young players. The Warriors, if they're willing to move off on some of their young players, the Warriors got to do something. Moody, Kuminga, or Wiggins, at least one of them has to go. Mm-hmm. It's too much of a logjam. Mm-hmm. It's not because they're disgruntled or anything. How is Moses Moody not in the rotation right now?
That's a hard one to figure.
Right?
And it's been that way for years. He comes in, he plays well, and then he doesn't play. I don't get
it. Exactly. And if you're Golden State, it's time to cash in on those guys. And I know we're talking about Sacramento, but I said it last year and a half ago, and it's proven to be true. So I'm going to pat myself on the back, Whitey, because I know you're not going to do it for me. You're not going to do it. Jay Johnson ain't going to do it for me. Niners fans ain't going to do it for me. So I'm going to do it myself. I said it a year and a half ago on a post-game show on NBC Sports California, on this airwaves right here on Sactown Sports 1140. The inability to develop Kuminga, Moody, and at the time, Wiseman will be the undoing of the Golden State Warriors. The Draymond Green situation, yes, that has moved things along as well. But what they've done to those 3 lottery picks is criminal. It's like basically what we've seen from the Detroit Pistons over the years. All these teams with high lottery picks and they never can cash in. Take away Steph and those guys, and the Warriors, their inability to develop those guys has been criminal.
About a year ago, Bob Myers was doing a radio interview at their flagship where I was working at the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't do the interview, but I was listening to it. And he was asked, hey, and this was, things were not going well for the Warriors at that time. They ended up righting the ship and had a decent season. We all know what happened in the postseason. And somebody asked Bob Myers, hey, Bob, the 3 guys you got, and this was before they traded Wiseman. So you got Wiseman, you got Kuminga, you got Moody. Realistically, what are you guys long-term? What would you be happy with from those 3? And Bob Myers said, if we get 1.5 players out of those 3, I think we'll be happy.
Wow.
When he said that, I knew, he's gone.
Right.
Because that's very honest. He's being more forthright than he needs to be. So on the one hand, he's leaving. But I don't think they feel like they nailed the picks, is my point.
Yeah.
And Wiseman, of course, is gone now. That's a whole different story.
But that's the thing about picks, Whitey.
Yeah.
Is fit has so much to do with it, and player development has so much to do with it. You can't tell me Kuminga doesn't have talent. You can't tell me Moody doesn't have talent. The way they handled their veterans versus the young guys, they botched it. I'm not saying they botched the picks because I don't know. We haven't seen these guys. I haven't seen Kuminga on an extended basis. Put Kuminga on a Spurs team or some other team. Put him in Boston. You see how Boston developed their guys?
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown, the way he's developed. Tatum always had the talent. We knew Tatum was going to be great. But Jaylen Brown, his development. Shucks. Look at Derek White. San Antonio, then he goes to Boston, and the way he's developed. And so that's why I think a Kuminga, a Moody, in a different situation, we'll see the best of them. When it comes to Wiseman, I think psychologically and mentally, they beat him down so much in Golden State. They toyed around with him so much that he's sort of, I don't want to say a lost cause, but it's going to take a minute. He shouldn't have been in the G League. He shouldn't be playing, in Santa Cruz. Like, this is the number 2 overall pick. Give the guy some love. And so the way they messed with it, I'm just so, this should be a huge story, what they did. Unless, I like Steve Kerr. I like Steve Kerr, everything he stands for off the floor, everything he's been through. But now there's question marks about his coaching.
Yeah.
What he did when they lost, had that 24-point lead here in Sacramento. Moody was cooking, had 11 in the fourth quarter. He pulls him out, sits him on the bench. We're like, why is he taking Moody out? Same thing with Kuminga last night.
Yeah.
And I also argue Team USA in the FIBA World Cup, that was not Steve Kerr's best coaching job. He cost them some wins. And so now you're starting to see some cracks in Steve Kerr. And to your point, if a decision needs to be made, is it going to be Kuminga, Moody, the young guys, or is it going to be the coach? I don't know which way they
I think Kerr's in the last year of his deal.
Yes.
By the way, Wiseman, you may be right. To me, he was a guy that, was one of those pandemic picks where the guy didn't play as much as you would liked, and they picked him based on what they thought he was. I don't think he was ever close to the player that they hoped he'd be. I know they didn't do a great job of developing him, but he just didn't play well. I just think he was never close to being what they thought he would be. I'm with you. Hopefully he finds his way and has a long career. We got to take a quick timeout, and we've got wait a minute now. Paul Jones.
Not Mark. Paul Jones.
Mark Jones' brother, Paul Jones, Raptors radio play-by-play guy. What does he think? Does he think Siakam's on his way to Sacramento? Paul Jones, voice of the Raptors, joins us next from the Golden One Center. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITBfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors, extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
Gather the family, pass on traditions, and discover new adventures together. Your Life Outdoors, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Paid for by government.com. The 1878 to 1921 Morgan Silver Dollar, a true American classic and one of the most iconic silver dollar coins in history. It's been 100 years since the last Morgan Silver Dollar coin was struck for circulation. And now, for a limited time only, full pound bags of original U.S. government struck Morgan dollars are being released to the public. That's right. You can own a full pound of 1878 to 1921 classic American Morgan Silver Dollar coins, all in very good collector condition with fully visible dates and mint marks, guaranteed. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure collector-grade U.S. Morgan Silver Dollars by the pound, struck during the Wild West and the Gilded Age. Plus, receive a bonus American Collector's Pack valued at over $25, free with every order. Call 1-800-473-0864 now to secure your full pound bag of Morgan silver dollar coins before they are gone. 1-800-473-0864. That's 1-800-473-0864.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The Drive Guys, live and local, every afternoon, Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
See it from the Golden One Center. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, getting ready for Kings and Raptors tonight. Special guest joining us. He's got a brother who's been writing his coattails for years. Am I right? Raptors radio play-by-play voice, Paul Jones, with us. How are you today, Paul?
You got that right, Kev. I was born first. I came into this world first. I blazed the trail, and you know how it is, though. The what do they say? The trailblazers get the hardships, and the settlers get everything else. So I just call Mark a settler. He got everything else. So.
Just so you know, Paul, some
of
us will never
lose
sight of that. Yeah.
And I got to tell you, the dude beside you, like I went to the All-Star game last year, and I said, "Oh yeah, Kyle Draper's getting me tickets," and they put me way up, man. I was like, I was so high up. The guys looked like they weren't even as big as my pinky finger, but it's okay though. I looked behind me and Kyle was right there with his son. So I'm like,
exactly.
Okay,
I was right behind you, Paul. So I got you better tickets than I got myself, man.
Yeah. There you go. That's how you hook a brother up, man. I'm grateful.
Paul, obviously, man, it's been a crazy week for you guys there with the Raptors playing pretty well as of late after the trade. Let's start with the trade. Were you surprised that it was the Knicks? And tell me about the players you got back and how they fit. It seems like it's working so far early on.
Yeah, surprised with the Knicks, yes. Considering the history of Toronto and New York, yeah. Considering the history where New York felt they got taken in the Bargnani deal. They tried to trade him Kyle Lowry, and New York wouldn't take him, and Raptors kept him and ended up with a chip. And, now there's litigation in court and all this stuff. And, it's like a lover's quarrel right now. They're fighting, but they're still loving each other. This trade helps both teams. In OG, they get a terrific 3-and-D guy. And when I talk about D, I'm talking about supersized D. That dude can guard 5 positions. Last year when the Raptors, they beat Denver the first time, and they beat Denver at home. And the second time in Denver, they were on their way till Scott Foster heard somebody yell at Scotty and thought it was him, the other Scott, and teed a couple of guys up, and Raptors ended up losing. But it was OG that was guarding Jokic. He is old man, country strong enough to guard any position and quick enough to stay with people on the perimeter. And listen, the Raptors gave up defense, but as you guys know in Sacramento better than anybody else, in the words of Mike D'Antoni, the best defensive team is the one that has the most points at the end of the game. and the NBA has, let's face it, guys, they've devalued defense. They'd rather see 129, 127 than, 93, 91. So that's where we are now in the NBA. And it hurts to give up OG. The other thing is you got to look at the money part of it. He was going to opt out of his $19 million, probably asked for 30 or 40. And if you're Toronto, you don't have to pay that. RJ Barrett's already being paid. You're going to have to pay quickly, and then you're going to have to pay Scotty. So you might as well save some of that money. And look, I think the deal helped both teams. Precious is going to help. Malachi's a solid backup. And Toronto gets a guy that loves to go downhill in R.J. Barrett. He's 23 years old. He's coming home to play. He doesn't have to kind of stand in the corner when Julius Randle or Brunson, more so Randle, are dominating the ball. You know, he's going to have some freedom here. And to me, the jewel of the trade is Emmanuel Quickly. We got Tyrese Maxey Light, man. He is, as to coin Mark's phrase, he's faster than Gossip, man. And he can shoot the three, pull up, stand still. You know, people in New York, the word was, well, he doesn't guard. Well, when you're the sixth man and you're coming off the bench and you're trying to get yours and change the tempo, man, I'm not worried about defense. The starters can worry about that. But I think you're going to see more defense in terms of his responsibility now that he's a starting point guard. And I'm interested to watch the matchup between he and De'Aaron tonight. I really am, especially with the Raptors playing some of their pick and roll sequences where they don't just, you know, kind of indiscriminately switch and you get this lazy brush ghost screen stuff in their switches. No, Toronto plays it differently. So, look, 2-0. That's all you have to say. Toronto's 2-0, and in the last 6 games, they are number 2 in the NBA in 3-point shooting. Where before we couldn't throw it in the Pacific from a beach close to Sacramento. So it's really helped, guys, and I think, you know, this team has the potential to. I saw them as a potential play-in team at the beginning of the year. I think it's more and more looking like that if they can kind of come together and get it going.
Paul Jones with us, Raptors radio play-by-play voice. You touched on it there, some of the X's and O's, and I know you've done some coaching. What do you think should be the biggest concern for the Kings about matching up with your club right now? If you're coach in Sacramento, Paul, what's at the top of your dry erase board tonight?
Well, one, Pascal Siakam getting downhill, getting to his spots. He loves. He's kind of got that DeMar DeRozan in him. He loves that 17, 18-foot mid-range, gets both feet in the paint. He'll turn and fall away on you and make a 10, 12-footer. He's at times inexorable. He's relentless in his efforts to get into the paint, get to the basket. And then I don't know if it's 1 or 1A. The other guy is Scotty Barnes, who's really taken a step. He's already made more three-pointers this year than he did all of last year. You know, I had a Western Conference executive say, "Man, this kid looks like Magic Johnson." Like that was lofty praise. He's listed at 6'8", 6'9". I'm telling you, that cat's like 6'10", 6'11". He is, and he's got a wingspan that's even bigger than that. He'll take the ball off the glass, he'll run the break, and he plays. Fellas, watch him tonight. If he's in the right frame of mind, and which is most of the time, he plays with such joy and exuberance on the floor, dishing out the sugar and no-look passes and smiling. And the other thing is, he doesn't forget that he's big. I don't care who you are. I've watched him do it to LeBron. I've watched him do it to Giannis. He will walk your backside into the paint until he gets to where he wants and says, "And take this with you." So I think if you're Mike Brown, and Mike, listen, it's full disclosure, Mike is a friend of mine. He's one of the smartest minds in the NBA. I don't have to tell him that it's Pascal and Scotty, and you know, guard the 3-point line with the likes of Trent, Quickly, you know, guys like that who can shoot it. So I'm looking for a good matchup. Like, listen, last year Toronto went in and used every dish in the kitchen and left the Kings to wash it up. Like, that was one of the Raptors' best games last year, that win at Sacramento.
Yeah,
and you don't think Mike Brown and our guy, Team Canada coach Jordy Fernandez, and former Team Canada coach Jay Triano, and former Raptor Doug Christie, you don't think they remember that?
Right.
You don't think they remember that? Oh, yeah.
Well, I remember the game we were up there. Mike Brown got ejected, and Jordy Fernandez coached our Sacramento Kings to a win. But, you know, to your point, the Kings have not beaten the Raptors here at home since 2016. It's been a minute since Sacramento has beaten Toronto here in this building. I want to talk to you about R.J. Barrett. I'm a huge R.J. Barrett fan.
So wait a minute, Kyle. Kyle, the better says go with the streak, but my late father has a Latin phrase that says all good things come to an end. So we're going to see one or the other tonight, right?
Well, you know where I stand on that, Paul. I'm not going to hide who I'm pulling for tonight. You know.
Hey, man, I'm riding that street, brother. You know me too.
Hey, where does RJ fit in with you guys? Because you mentioned him a little bit. I thought, the expectations in New York, and like you said earlier, you got a couple of ball dominant guys out there. People forget this guy's 23. He's a lottery pick. He was number 1 in his high school class coming out of high school. Where do you see RJ in terms of the pecking order out there in Toronto?
Kyle, that's a great point. That the last guy to sweep all the major schoolboy scholastic awards and come out in the draft like that was some cat named LeBron James. I think he's risen in the pecking order here in Toronto. He's 3, 2, depending on who's on the floor. He's the guy. And like I said, he doesn't have to stand in the corner. I got the impression when he was playing in New York that Randall and Brunson had their hands on the ball so much. And you guys have both played pickup enough. You run up and down the floor and the game's a 7. It's like 5-4 and you haven't touched the ball. You get the ball. It's like, hey, it's my turn now.
Right.
Whether anybody's open or not, this is mine. I'm getting mine. And I got that feeling from RJ sometimes. Like he didn't, guy, we've seen it in the game. A guy takes a bad shot, and if you're a coach or you played, you go, well, that's just, I haven't touched the ball in a while, so I don't care what anybody else thinks. That's not happening in Toronto. It doesn't happen here because he's even in a short time span, he's been integrated into the offense. He's great on the break. He loves to go downhill. He shoots it well enough that you have to respect that. And he's growing. He would be a college senior this year if he stayed at Duke, or maybe coming into his first year in the NBA. So, and he's been in New York too. He's been thrown in the spotlight. So I like what he has to offer, Kyle. Right now, he's a guy that gives the Raptors something like Pascal in terms of trying to get downhill, get into the paint. He does not settle for random jump shots just because he can.
Paul Jones, we appreciate your time very much. I'm going to leave you with this, and bear with me. Omnia bona esse desenunt. Is that all good things must come to an end in Latin? That's
all good things. There it is. That sounds like Papa Jones right there. I'm telling you, Mark and I, man, we grew up with word studies. Like, what does this mean? What does that mean? And or he'd listen to our broadcast and say, "Dude, you said the word great 4 times. Like, use another word." So
change it up. Yeah.
Here we are. We are.
Yeah, it's quite a story. Thank you again for your time. Hopefully, we'll see you tonight. Have a great call. Good. If you guys decide you want to part with Siakam, just let us know. I know it's not up to you. But,
well, hey, we can talk about Malik Monk and some guys. Give us some shooting.
All right. We got to cut this interview. We got to go. We're up against it, Paul.
All good things must end, right? All good things must end, right?
Thank you, Paul.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
All right, see you in a little bit, Paul.
Yeah. He mentioned Jordy, and Jordy's going to be with us today.
Yes.
3:00. We're talking to Jordy Fernandez as we prepare for the Kings and Raptors tonight. When we come back, peek ahead at the NFL weekend. A lot of games like the 49er game, but there are some games that are very meaningful this weekend. The NFL teams with the most on the line this weekend are next year with Draper and Gleason, the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury,
For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
If you suffer from ugly yellow toe fungus, please listen closely. Toe fungus is not just an embarrassing cosmetic issue. It can be the sign of an underlying health problem, and if left untreated, can also be dangerous. Even a small spot can spread and get worse. But conventional treatments like foot soaks, prescription drugs, and laser treatments don't get to the root of the problem and are no match for drug-resistant fungi. But researchers have developed a new and different at-home treatment, and now thousands of people have finally ended their struggle with toe fungus. It's called Crystal Flush, and it's now available to try risk-free for 60 days. This is a limited-time offer that's not available in stores. Go to crystalflush.com. That's crystalflush.com. You no longer have to let embarrassing toe fungus ruin your life. But don't wait. Try it risk-free at crystalflush.com. That's crystalflush.com.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Friday at the Golden One Center should be a fun game tonight. Exciting game. I know Kyle Draper, understandably, a little anxious about the Raptors coming in. Got the Drive Guys here. Jordy Fernandez, Kings associate head coach, going to join us top of the hour. By the way, do you still have your Christmas stuff up? Tree, lights, anything?
I started undecorating last night, as a matter of fact. Like, the tree's still up, but it's bare right now.
You know the whole 12 days of Christmas on the first. Today's the 12th day of Christmas. This is like the last day of the 12 days of Christmas. This is the 12 drummers drumming. So today is officially like the end of Christmas.
End of Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. So
by tomorrow, it should be gone. we on to Valentine's Day. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. So tomorrow, you know, your neighbors still have lights up. You can go over there. Oh, hey, Christmas light, please.
It's over. It's over.
We need to take that down, sir.
So is that the rule? You get 12 days. That's it. Hey,
it should be long enough,
days,
right?
That should be long enough.
I guess people could say, "Oh, I'll leave it up for the weekend, whatever." But should be fun out here tonight, and it's going to be a fun weekend for football fans. Although, as you know, if you're a 49er fan, game against the Rams doesn't amount to much. I mean, they may play, as Coach Shanahan said, we may meet in our first playoff game, so no one's going to show anybody anything. But we want to let you know the 49ers and Rams game this Sunday will be airing on KNCI HD2, starting with the pregame at 12:25 and the kickoff at 1:25. Okay, so that's 49ers and Rams this Sunday, KNCI HD2, because we have we can't have the 49ers and the Kings on at the same time.
Yeah.
Real quick, there are some meaningful games this weekend in the NFL. I think, especially, the Bills, they play Miami, and so if they win, they could be the 2 seed. If they lose, the Bills, that is, they could miss the playoffs. So they could be a 2 seed. They could still miss the playoffs.
That far.
Yeah,
Wow.
Miami is in either way. Winner of that game wins the division. And then also Houston-Indy, which is tomorrow night. The winner of that game is in, and the loser is out.
Yeah, that's
so that'll
a big
be
time matchup. Big time matchup. And D'Amico Ryan, C.J. Stroud, if they get into the play, that's one of the best stories in the NFL this season. If they get in there. You didn't mention my Eagles. That's a big game also this weekend.
Yeah. Well,
Eagles got a chance to still win the division, Whitey. That's going to be huge.
I don't think it's going to happen.
We need Dallas to lose. We need some help.
Yeah,
obviously. But this is a big game for Philly.
The way your team's struggling, I wish you luck here. It just looks like it's all, it's like a snowman that's just been out in the sun too long, doesn't it? Right?
Just
the
melted
nose
away.
starting to fall off, and the arms are starting to.
Oh, that's messed up, man.
That's
You're
what it's
right.
like.
You're not lying. You're right. That's messed up, man.
Yeah. So it's going to be a fun football weekend. And then, that's going to be tough with the 49ers having a bye week. Then the fun really starts. Anyway, we're having fun here. Get ready for tonight and get ready for the trade deadline, which is, we're talking February 8th, right?
February 8th is the deadline.
Yeah. And the way the Warriors went down last night with Jokic from, what did we decide, RJ? Was a 47-footer?
Yeah, about 47.
Whatever.
Yeah. Like that.
Banking it in. Now the Warriors are reeling. So Mr. Draper is thinking the Warriors may make some of their players available. And he's interested.
And I'm very interested in seeing what Golden State does because they have some issues. They have a log jam at the 3-4 spot. I mentioned it earlier. You bring in Draymond Green back in. You got Wiggins. You got Moody. You got Kuminga. Not enough minutes to go, for everybody. And they have to do something. They have to make some sort of move. Not only to clear that up, but also maybe to upgrade. Maybe a Pascal Siakam could be on their radar. As I was driving in, I thought this, Whitey. When you look at the job Steve Kerr's doing, and I don't think he's doing a good job. I think he has his issues. But who would you take out of that lineup? That's the problem. You got Steph. You got Clay, Kuminga, Wiggins. Sarge is playing well. Draymond when he comes back. Pajemski's playing well. Chris Paul, Moses Moody, Trace Jackson Davis, Looney. They got 10 or 11 guys that need minutes. And all of them want to start. You know what I mean? Pajemski's playing well enough to start. Klay Thompson has pride, 4-time champion. You stick with him. Kuminga has played it well enough. Moody has shown enough flashes. And so they got too many pieces. And I think they need addition by subtraction, if you will. Chris Paul, to me, doesn't fit at all. I don't know what the thought there, first of all, in bringing him in. But I don't even know what kind of value Chris Paul has right now. If I'm the Warriors, you know who I call up? The Phoenix Suns. Hey, do you want Chris back? Because they need a point guard in Phoenix.
They could use
could use a point guard in Phoenix. But they got to clear some of the log jam that they have. And if I'm Sacramento, I pull up the roster and it's like open season. I'm going to try to pick somebody off the Warriors.
It pretty clearly comes down to the redundancy they have with Wiggins and Kuminga, right? And as we said, even Steve Kerr has publicly talked about how it doesn't work with them together on the floor at the same time. And then Draymond is back with the team now, so they're getting closer to him coming back. So I would think you could probably get Wiggins or Kuminga. Like I said, I don't think they're going to want to trade Kuminga. We'll see. Would you want Wiggins? This is where you and I disagree.
We disagree.
But it may be one of those things where if the Kings want to do something, you go back years ago when the Kings ended up with Chris Webber and it transformed the franchise. But they got Chris Webber because a lot of teams didn't want him. His stock was low. So maybe that's the type of move a small market team like the Kings has to be willing to make.
Let me ask you this, because I would like Wiggins. Yes, I would see what it would cost for Wiggins. We heard Jake Fisher's report. Barnes, Herter, Davion, some of the names being floated out there. If you put Andrew Wiggins on this team alongside Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis as your front court, is that an improvement?
In some sense it is, but I don't have a 4 then, right?
You don't have a 4 now?
Right, but I have less. I mean, at least
And
Barnes you can squint and say, okay, well, he's a 4.
Wiggins can't be a 4?
I don't think so. I mean, they've tried
7-foot wingspan? Keegan can't be the 4?
You tell me. Could he?
I think it's a better option than what we have now. I think it fits better. And in today's NBA, you don't necessarily need a 6'11".
That's absolutely true. I
agree.
agree.
Don't need that.
I think people get caught up in that.
Right.
I agree.
It's like, a lot of teams are starting 6'9" guys at the 4 spot.
But I'm already not. I don't have the biggest
Green
center.
At 4. Draymond at 4. He's an undersized 4.
Yeah,
right now.
But he's a really good defender.
And I think Wiggins is still. He's only 28. Now, if Wiggins was 31, I'd be like, I don't know about that. I might be out. But 28, looking at his contract, $26 million next year, 28, and then a player option at 30, sort of fits the timeline.
Are you challenging me to a poll off? Do we need to go to a poll?
I like that. How about this?
Just would you have interest in Wiggins or not? Is that
you want to do that?
Is that fair?
Like that?
Is that fair?
Or would you rather have Wiggins, Kuminga, and Moody? That might be too convoluted. Would you like Andrew Wiggins on this team? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's do that
Okay.
as a poll.
Yeah. And that's nice, clean, simple. Because it's
a yes or no question.
Right. And I'm willing to say, I'll challenge and I'll say, nope, I don't want him. And you make a great case and it would be fascinating and intriguing, but I just don't think it works. So we'll see if Jay, he already has enough to do as it is, but we get that poll going. I'd just be interested to see. General Trend, you want to pursue? Yeah. Would you pursue getting Wiggins? And I know it's like, well, what does it cost? Never mind that. Just you want Wiggins?
Player on this team,
Wiggins?
right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and I'm all in on this. Yes, I would like Andrew Wiggins here in Sacramento. I think he needs a fresh start. I'm not going to look at the last year. Clearly, something happened off the floor, something we didn't see on the floor that's affecting him.
Mm-hmm.
He may need a fresh start, and I would like it here in Sacramento.
Right. Yeah, we'll take a timeout. Jordy's going to join us. And by the way, just, we can't ask Jordy about trades and stuff. I know sometimes people say, we're talking about all these trades. Guys that work.
Yeah, we can't touch that.
You can't. You just can't go there. So that's why I understand we're not going to, hey, would you trade for Wiggins to waste everybody's time? But we're going to enjoy the conversation. Looking forward to it. Jordy Fernandez joins us next year as we get ready for the Kings and the Raptors from the Golden One Center. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper, your boy Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, if you've been on the fence about buying your first electric luxury car, it's time to get off the fence and go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I'm challenging you. Test drive any Mercedes-Benz fully electric car or SUV and you will fall in love. In fact, my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is out in the parking lot right now. You know, I had a Tesla before this, but once I got the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, it felt like a brand new driving experience. It's on an entirely different level. Now, here's what I love about my EQS SUV. First of all, from the moment I sit in it, I feel like I'm stepping in a world of luxury. Plus, it's easy charging, and it has heated seats and cooling seats as well. It's an ultimate driving experience. I urge you, go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They're just 30 minutes from Sacramento. They're right off of I-5. Or, of course, you can always go online at mbfstockton.com.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Get $3 off coupons at Big O Tires and O'Reilly Auto Parts stores. Get to the action in Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Visit sportsexpos.com for locations, seminars, and show info. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Drive guys gearing up for the Raptors and the Kings on this Friday at the Golden One Center, and Kyle Draper has a special guest for us.
Yeah, we got to bring in our guy, associate head coach of your Sacramento Kings, head coach of Team Canada as well, led them to the bronze medal in the FIBA World Cup this past summer. Jordy Fernandez joining us on the Drive guys here. Jordy, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. First of all, congrats on that big win the other night, double overtime. I want to start right there, if you will. You know, Malik Monk, we've seen him. He's a fiery guy. But, man, when he steps on that floor, he's like the heart and soul. Tell me about Malik behind the scenes, what he gives this team, and how valuable he is to the Sacramento Kings.
Well, you just said it. His energy is contagious, not just with his scoring, but also sharing the basketball. And that's just who he is in a day-to-day. You know, a guy with a smile on his face. And like I said, you just can't feel him around. Good energy, good presence. That's why we love him so much.
Jordy, I know that coaches can't afford to look at things this way, but that game Wednesday was one of the great games in the short history of the Golden One Center. What was the most gratifying thing about Wednesday's win for you and for the rest of the coaching staff?
I think finding a way, because it wasn't a perfect game by any means, and we ended up the game the way we wanted to. We have to be better on both ends of the floor. We cannot afford that many turnovers, and then obviously defensively, we struggled with the 3-point line. We did good with defending the paint, but we have to be better. We want to be in the top 10 defensively, something that we wanted to improve from last year, and we just got to keep working.
Jordy, I was going to ask you about the defense because I know that's your specialty, and I know you, Mike Brown, the rest of the coaching staff, that has been a point of emphasis this season. When you look at what the Kings do defensively, what's your focus? Is it protecting the paint? Is it defending three? Does it depend on matchups? Is it physicality? What do you want to see from the guys defensively?
Yeah, well, you know, the NBA tendencies are, the shot quality is important, so defending without fouling is important. We have been physical, which we can live with some of those, some of the free throws, because that's how we want to play. We want to defend the rim, and it's got to be 1 through 5. Protecting the paint, protecting the rim as a unit, and defending the 3-point line. So we've gotten better. If you look at last year's numbers, we just have to continue to work in that direction.
Jordy, anybody who's watched basketball for a long time knows that offense sometimes can seem like it's contagious. Guy makes a shot, team makes layups, all of a sudden everybody's making shots. In your view, does defense kind of work that way as well? If one or two guys start really playing good defense, can the team just kind of pick up from that and start playing better defense as well?
Yeah, I think we've seen it recently, especially like, I don't know if you remember Trey Lyles the other day. He took like 3 charges, and I think that's also contagious, rebounding and Domas, because, the beginning of your offense, usually it's a defensive rebound. So, that's what we want to do. We want to be good on the defensive glass so we can run. And I know we've been good also running off makes, but obviously it's a lot better to run off from stops than running from makes. So I think it goes both ways. Offense can help defense, but definitely defense can help your offense. So, as you know, those go connected hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Jordy Fernandez joining us. Jordy, you got the Toronto Raptors tonight. As you prepare for this team tonight, they obviously made a huge trade last weekend, sort of a different team now with R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly. How different are the Raptors over the last week versus the first 30 games of the season or so?
I mean, those are 2 starters on their new team. Obviously, a very different team. They've played 2 games. They're 2-0. Quickly is a very good shooter, scorer. It's one of the smaller guys now they're playing because they're a very long and athletic team. And RJ is a very good physical scorer. Doesn't need much, and especially at catch and go, second side catch and shoot, especially quarter 3. So, in my opinion, they've gotten better. They've proved it so far, and it's going to be a fun game because they're a very good team.
I hate to go here, Jordy, but of course we have to. How frustrating are the missed free throws for you and for the players? And what, as coaches, can you do about it?
Keep working, and obviously we're not trying to miss free throws. Just obviously we don't want to stress out too much, because sometimes if you keep yelling at your playing, don't miss free throws, obviously they're not trying to miss. So, we want to work on it, but also we know we're a good free throw shooting team, and it will show.
Jordy, after that win the other night, a big win, obviously, De'Aaron Fox, 6 of 22 from the field, didn't have his best stuff. How encouraging was it to see you guys actually gut this one out when your star player might not always have it? He didn't have it the other night, but it was a total team effort.
Yeah, I think, when good teams play very well, they pretty much can beat anybody. But I think that when a team doesn't play well and still finds a way to win, that's a sign of a great team, and that's who we're trying to be. We have long ways to go, but what we did last year and what we're continuing to do, we want to establish ourselves in this league as a winning program for a long time, and I think we're in the right direction, especially being led by Coach Brown and the rest of the organization, how things are working.
We know that one of the goals for this year was to take better advantage of home court advantage, and I know that we just had a clunker this week, and that happens. But how do you feel about how well the team has progressed in terms of just defending the home floor this season?
I've always felt like we've been really good at home, and obviously, as you know, it's because of our fans and the energy that we have here, how fast we can play. Obviously, we make a lot more shots here at home, so it's great to play in Sacramento. One of the best arenas in the NBA, so I think we're taking advantage of it. Like you said, we can keep improving, but playing at home, it feels like we're playing with 6 players.
Jordy Fernandez, associate head coach, joining us. Jordy, I want to go back to Mike Brown and Malik Monk and that exchange they had. Really, I want to talk about Mike's reaction, pulling Malik to the side the day after, calling him into the office, apologizing to him for not coaching him correctly in that moment. How can that help a team? I've maintained, and we've heard it before, you grow stronger and more together in times of toughness, tribulation. How did that help? Will that help, you think, going forward?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was said, but one thing that I can tell you is Coach Brown is big in accountability, and it goes both ways. In the same way, he holds guys accountable. He's very receptive when guys hold him accountable, and I think that's how it should be. That's our mindset as a group. We're in this together. We all make mistakes, but at the end of the day, we try to do what's best for the team. So I think that's the reason why you guys can see what you see on the court from a group that plays hard. It's not always perfect, but we try to do our best to compete.
Jordy Fernandez joining us. Jordy, I'm a little pissed off about something. You know, indulge me if you will. De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, they're putting up all NBA numbers again. The team is winning, but yet when it comes to all-star voting, De'Aaron Fox 200,000 votes, Domas not even in the top 10. What are fans missing, and why should they vote for our guys? Tell me about our guys and why we should, push the ballots for them.
For us, they're all-star players. They're all NBAs. That's what we believe in our locker room. That's what our fans believe. The rest of the NBA, yes, we want everybody else to vote for them. They deserve it. But the reality is we don't care because we believe in them, and we'll prove everybody else how good of a basketball team we are, how much we can grow, and what we're going to do in the postseason.
Good stuff, as always, Jordy. Thanks so much for jumping on with us, man. I know you got to get ready for tonight's game. Hopefully we can light the beam. See you in a few when you get here.
Thank you, Jordy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, Jordy Fernandez. Here's an interesting.
Did you try to get him fired up?
I tried to get him fired up. He didn't. He didn't take the bait on that. I'm fired up, but I'll be fired up for both of us. Here's the thing about Jordy, though. He coached Team Canada in the FIBA World Cup, and they beat Team USA for the bronze medal. I thought he did a phenomenal job. Obviously, a loaded roster.
He coached R.J. Barrett, right?
Yeah, R.J. Barrett. Shea, R.J. Barrett, who we'll see tonight. Jordy, one of the best young minds in the game, and he'll be a head coach someday, no doubt about it.
Yeah, one of the things that's always clear when we talk to him is he's always so respectful of Coach Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Because one of the things that comes up is your coaching future, and he's always, no, I'm, Coach Brown is the great coach, and he's our coach here. So we appreciate some insight there from Jordy Fernandez, who kind of referenced without meaning to the sixth man. When we play in Sacramento, we feel like we're playing with six.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. This crowd, and I thought the crowd was huge the other night in that win. You got an Orlando team that's maybe look the best they have all season in terms of shooting, knocking down 25 threes. And, if the crowd's not into it the way they are, maybe you can get a deflated. Maybe you can hang your shoulders a little bit. But, I thought the players fed off the crowd. Malik obviously brought the energy, and the crowd gave it back. Like, you talk about certain players who are meant for a city. Malik Monk is meant for Sacramento. He's played in Charlotte, did okay. Played in LA, did okay. But he feels like one of our own, and so I hope we re-sign him. He is a vital piece of everything we do here with the Kings.
He didn't come into the NBA here, but he became an NBA star here.
Yes.
And it's funny you mentioned the crowd, because I've noticed, obviously, Kings fans respond well to a lot of different players, but there's something unique about when Malik does something. And he did a lot of things, of course, Wednesday, and people just really react differently to Malik's dunks and scores.
Yeah, and it's like you said, because he's raw, he's him, no matter what.
Right.
Good, bad, and ugly. He's gonna, bring that fire, bring that energy. And so, no, you're right, man. I think, and the fact that it didn't pan out in Charlotte, the Lakers let him go, and he embraced being here in Sacramento, playing with this guy, De'Aaron Fox. I think that makes us love him even more.
Yep, absolutely. In Sacramento, we're pretty raw, we're pretty honest, and so I think that's one of the reasons people love Malik Monk. And let's see how he follows up on his 37-point game tonight against the Toronto Raptors. Take a quick timeout. When we come back here, ESPN.com asked this week, are the Warriors young players ready to continue the dynasty? Well, the answer apparently is nope. But does that create opportunities for the Kings? We're back with that from the Gold One Center next. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Great to be a Sacramento Kings fan right now because the Kings have already won 20 games. Also, let's face it, there's a little schadenfreude involved. It's great to be the Kings and look at the Lakers and say, woof, glad I'm not them. And it's great to be the Kings and look at the Warriors and say, woof, glad I'm not them, right? That's just the reality of the situation.
You know, both those teams have issues, not only just basketball, but just leadership, organizational. Yeah, they're at a crossroads right now, and we're a pretty stable franchise right now. Sure, we want to make some tweaks to the roster, upgrade it, but for the most part, this Kings team, drama-free, no issues right now.
Yeah, we have a little, what do you want to call it, drama, the Mike Brown thing, but even when you see it, you go, okay, we pretty much know what that's about.
Right.
There's no mystery to it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, after sitting for the final 18 minutes of that crushing loss to the Nuggets last night, Jonathan Kuminga, according to a source, has lost faith in Coach Steve Kerr. And the source tells Anthony Slater, Thursday night was the straw that broke the camel's back. I don't know, if you're Steve Kerr and you're already, dealing with a lot as it is, what does that even mean? Oh, he's lost faith in me. What? How is Steve Kerr supposed to react to that? Is that a trade demand?
Right.
Obviously,
right.
if Steve Kerr had more faith in Kuminga, he would have been playing.
Well, and that's the thing. I was listening to Sirius XM NBA radio on the way in, and Eddie Johnson, former Sacramento King,
yes,
TV analyst now with the Phoenix Suns, Suns legend, he said, and I never thought of it this way, the reason Kuminga wasn't in there is because Steve Kerr trusts Andrew Wiggins more than he trusts Jonathan Kuminga. And I get it. Andrew Wiggins helped you win a championship. Andrew Wiggins is a veteran. I can see that. I can understand that. But if you're Jonathan Kuminga, if you're Moses Moody, there's no way Jonathan Kuminga should have sat the final 18 minutes of that game. Even if Wiggins is your guy, you still bring Kuminga back for a few minutes, maybe 3, and then go back to Wiggins or something like that. But to sit when you played a phenomenal game, and I'm not talking box score. I watched the game. They had trouble guarding Jonathan Kuminga last night. For him to sit 18 minutes, I get the frustration. He's been yo-yoed in and out of the lineup. Moses Moody, for the most part, is being a good soldier. But now you're starting to hear, our guy Jason Dumas down there at Crown 4 had a story about.
Oh, he loves Kuminga, I know.
Yeah, and he had a story about Moody's camp is now, growing frustrated about their role. And so Steve Kerr, I know he's loyal to the veterans, Steph and Draymond and all those guys. They got you there. Clay, I get it. But those young guys are a part of the team also. And it feels like there's a division between the old guys and the young guys.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons Jordan Poole's not there anymore, but that didn't solve the problem. The problem I have with this is when you see what happened last night, and it's pretty clear, and I'm a Steve Kerr guy, but it's pretty clear he made a mistake, and his explanation was Kuminga was playing great. His normal time to go back in would have been around the 5-6 minute mark. Wiggins was playing great. We were rolling. We're up 18-19, whatever it was. So we just stayed with him. And then at that later point, it didn't feel like the right thing to do to put Kuminga in. So that's a terrible explanation.
Right.
Makes it worse. But for Kuminga's camp to come out, a source tells the writer Kuminga's not happy. Miss me with all of that.
You don't like that?
If Kuminga's unhappy, hey, you know what? I wish I would have played. Or talk to the coach. But this Moody's camp says this, or Kuminga's camp has lost
Whitey.
faith in Steve Kerr. I just think there's healthier, more direct ways to do it. This is just soap opera drama that I'm not interested in.
I agree 100% with you. But this isn't the first time that's happened.
I agree.
We hear, and that's the thing. I'm surprised, to be honest, it doesn't happen more often. Because you know as well as I do, the player may not say it, but I'm telling you, he's getting text messages. He's going home, family members. How come you aren't playing?
Oh, I know.
What's going on? How come you're not playing?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so they're hearing it from all their friends, their family. And now Kuminga, it's sort of boiled over. And I get it. There's better ways to handle that. But we've seen agents leak stuff before. We've seen star players say they won out before. I mean,
I know it happens.
Right.
I just it's
not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not the best way to handle anything. But can you blame them for feeling that way? Probably not.
Probably not. But it is. I think it's apparent that, and this is neither here nor there as far as how he's dealing with it. To Eddie Johnson's point, I mean, Steve Kerr trusts his veterans. Steve Kerr is just not as high on Kuminga as a lot of other people are. He's not as high on Kuminga as people within the organization are, right? Or he would have been playing. I mean, isn't that a safe assumption to make?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if one or the other has to go at this point, Steve Kerr is, he's loyal to the veterans, but I believe this is the last year of his deal. So I think Kerr's more likely to end up going somewhere than Kuminga is. I don't know that that's smart, but I think that's probably – I don't think they're going to move Kuminga.
You might be right. But also Steve Kerr might be done and say, you know what? He might take the Bob Myers route.
He might.
Like, you know what? It was a great run.
Yeah.
I'm going to go enjoy my time and do something else right now. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee that Steve Kerr wants to be back next season, especially he has a tough job. I understand Steph Curry's all-time great. He had the roster, ready-made championship team in turn when you got Kevin Durant. Like, I get, but the off the court, the Draymond drama, dealing with Draymond Green is like being president of the United States. Mm-hmm. You go in there looking 35, you come out looking 75.
Yep.
Like that's what it is for Steve Kerr. And it's been a headache. And he said it the other day. He said Draymond needed time away from us and we needed time away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, to me, when I look at dealing with the Jordan Poole situation, now you got to deal with Kuminga and Moody. Everybody's second-guessing you. You see an aging roster in terms of Steph and Clay and Draymond. Your guys.
Right.
You might want to hit the eject button before it goes down.
Right. He's going to call up Bob Myers, say, Bob, wow. Good move.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Why didn't you take me with you?
Exactly.
I should have left when I had the chance.
I've said it before, man. Bill Belichick has this rule. He'd rather get rid of a player a year too early than a year too late.
Right.
And Bob Myers rather get out of there a year too early. And same thing with Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
The ship be sinking.
Bill Walsh was that way, too. And that's the old, Branch Rickey thing. Get rid of a player too early. And that's part of the problem in Golden State. They've been hanging on with these players. To a degree, this is inevitable, right? At some point, Steve Kerr, we even see it with Belichick. You mentioned Belichick. Yeah. Belichick's on his way out.
Right.
There was a time, it's almost unthinkable. So it happens. The team is worn down. They're going to have to figure out some things. They're going to have to figure out how they make that step into the next generation of Warriors, whatever that is. But right now, they're kind of stuck, and it's hard to see them pulling this back together with the same old.
Yeah, and I'm looking at Kevin O'Connor. He tweeted something. It was clear a long time ago that Kerr isn't the best coach for Kuminga or any young player. Last night feels like the game all the players will realize it, though. It's so inexcusable Kuminga wasn't out there. And here's the thing. Now you're talking about your legacy if you're Steve Kerr. People are trying to start pointing, well, maybe you're not that great of a coach. Same thing with Bill Belichick. You mentioned Bill Belichick. Without Tom Brady, see what happens? Now, with no Kevin Durant, Steph Curry aging, Clay aging, now you're seeing Steve Kerr actually having to coach his butt off with these young guys, and they're having some issues. And so maybe if you're Steve Kerr, you say, you know what? What do I have to gain by staying on? Especially when you're not a championship contender.
Right.
You coach to win it.
Mm-hmm.
But does he wake up and really think, you know what, as presently constructed, we can win? I don't know. I don't know if he does.
I think a lot of decisions that are made in Golden State depend on Steph Curry, too. I mean, Steph Curry is a Draymond supporter. That's one of the reasons Draymond's still there. So what happens with Steve Kerr largely hinges on what Steph Curry thinks. But I also think, Steph Curry obviously is part of the old guard.
Right.
Steph Curry and the veterans have been slow to embrace the younger players. And it's also possible, and I know I'm in the minority here, it's also possible that Kuminga's not as good as everyone says he is. He's talented, but is he that good? I don't know. Should he have played last night? Yes, down the stretch. But why doesn't he play more? Is that all on Steve Kerr, or is it possible that Kuminga is just not as far along as a player as his fans want to think he is?
You know what? I would subscribe to that belief if I didn't see it happen with Wiseman. If I haven't seen it, I'm not seeing it happen with Moody. You got 3 lottery picks. Now, if you say one of them just not good, but this is all 3. Wiseman, if you say, you know what, maybe he's not that good. Okay. What about Kuminga? You using that excuse too? What about Moses Moody? Are we doing all 3?
No.
Just aren't good?
No. Kuminga is playing. He's playing. It's not like he doesn't play at all. Now, I know there was a game in Portland, and he's got a great case here. He pointed out that Kuminga did. He found out he wasn't supposed to play at all in Portland, and then they went to him because they were not playing well, and he helped them win the game. So there is definitely something about Steve Kerr. There's a reluctance there to play Kuminga. The Moody thing, I don't get. That's been going on for a couple of years because, that happened here, right, where Moody was on fire against
11 in the fourth.
That I got nothing for you.
In the fourth.
I got nothing on that. I don't know.
I don't know. And,
because Moody plays hard, too.
Yeah, and I will say this, too, because, like I said, I was listening to Eddie Johnson, and he made a good point. And this is to your point also. If you're unhappy, go say something to the coach.
Yes.
Eddie Johnson said when he played, if a coach took him out, as he walked to the bench, he'd look to the coach and say, Coach, why you take me out? Then the coach would say, well, you didn't do this, this, and that. And then you live with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, sit there at the end of the bench, pout.
Tell your sources.
Your people, and let them leak. Go to Steve Kerr directly. Coach, what the heck was that? 18 minutes, and address it sort of like, Mike Brown and Malik Monk. They handled it the following day.
I agree.
To your point, to let it leak out like that really doesn't help anybody. Does not help the situation at all. Yeah,
everybody involved. When we come back, Siakam in town with the Raptors tonight. Is he a future King? Does his potential free agency scare you off? Pascal Siakam and a potential Kings trade next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's a new year, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling has a new heating and air special. It's a 2023 equipment blowout with prices on complete heat and air systems starting at just $8,995. If you have a high quote from another company, call the Good Guys for a free second opinion on repairs and replacement. Don't trust the other guys until you've called the Good Guys. Save 30% on the cost of your home's heating and cooling with proper attic insulation. For a no-cost estimate, call 530-GOOD-AIR or check them out online at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guarantee. And that's No bull. License number 1057-618.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save up to 40% on molding bulk savings packs. And there's more. Save up to 25% on drywall boards when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85 or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Bonnie Plumbing, Electric Heating and Air.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Drive guys coming to you from the Golden One Center. Pascal Siakam tonight will be on the floor. Maybe he's going to be spending half the season here. We don't know. We'll get to that. I just want to circle back to what we were just discussing, which is the way things seem to be falling apart in Golden State. Kuminga's unhappy. And as Kyle Draper has said, maybe the unrest there ends up freeing up a player or two for the Kings. But DeMarcus Cousins has weighed in, and we'll get to the sound here when we have it for you. But long story short, DeMarcus Cousins is criticizing Steve Kerr for a lack of leadership and decision-making. DeMarcus Cousins is criticizing somebody
the messenger.
For a lack of leadership and poor I'm not interested. If DeMarcus is talking about a lack of leadership and poor decision-making, he's not the guy I want to hear
You're
from.
shooting the messenger there. I'm listening to the message, that words. He played under Steve Kerr. He played in Golden State. Let's not forget.
Not
very
long.
I understand.
He played well there, too.
You know, his leadership could be questioned. I get that. He's not but that doesn't take away from the message. And DeMarcus made these comments not today. This is a couple of days ago.
Mm-hmm.
He said this before this latest. I just think when you look at Steve Kerr and the entire Warriors organization, this last year and a half, they have made misstep after misstep.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to the Jordan Poole, Draymond Green.
Yep.
And then it continued throughout the season. You re-sign Draymond. You give him a 4-year, $100 million contract. You trade Jordan Poole. You basically ruined that kid's career. Sure, he got paid. He got his money. I don't feel sorry for him. But you sort of ruined what he had going. Now you're ruining Jonathan Kuminga. You're ruining Moses Moody. You're messing up. He's cost them the Kings game by taking out Moody. And I could argue he cost the Nuggets game as well by not going back to Kuminga. I'm telling you, watching that game, anytime Jamal Murray got switched on Kuminga, it was barbecue chicken. And I understand Kuminga's not a three-point shooter. He has some limitations. I get it. But Steve Kerr has not done a good job overseeing the organization this last year and a half. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, Whitey, or anything like that. But to DeMarcus Cousins' point, leadership. I think that's a fair question.
I don't think you can say, I don't think it's fair at all to say that Steve Kerr or the Warriors have ruined this guy's career and that guy's career. I would no, that's some of it's on the player no matter what happens. And I know they didn't handle the Poole situation well. Steve Kerr is also, I mean, there are players that have gone there as young players and played very well. Looney comes to mind. I know that right now he's not doing a great job with these young players, but to say he's ruined somebody's career, that's a little over dramatic, in my opinion.
That's me. That's who I am. I'm a stand on that.
Yeah,
Jordan Poole will never be the same player because of what happened with that Draymond Green situation. Jordan Poole has become a punchline because of what happened in that, and Jordan Poole deserved better from Golden State. I'm standing on that, Whitey. What they did to that young kid, to me, that's unforgivable. They messed that kid up.
If they had disciplined Draymond, would that have helped? Would Jordan Poole be in a better spot?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes,
see,
that's what I'm. They basically chose Draymond Green over Jordan Poole.
They gave Poole the contract. They gave him a ton of money.
Here's
after that.
your money. Go shut up and play. That's ridiculous. They didn't
handle it well.
I don't care about the money. What about the respect?
I agree with you. They didn't handle it well. I don't think you could debate that. But to say they ruined his career, I'm not going that far. We do have this.
We're different. I'm saying I'm okay, comfortable saying that he will never be the same player again.
If you're suggesting that the Warriors are in the process of ruining Kuminga's career.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Here is, speaking of who said what, here is DeMarcus Cousins. Here's what he had to say about Steve Kerr.
We go back to, the previous summer. We watched Team USA. They struggle, and there's no reason for that. And it's only one common denominator in that equation, and that's Steve Kerr. Maybe it's time for new leadership in this Warriors locker room. Maybe it's time. And the reason I say that, even the Apple iPhone gets an update. You know what I mean? So it's time for the Warriors to update this team. And a new identity, a new system, something to get this core group over the hump. And I was a part of this organization. I know the mood. I know how they carry themselves. It's super laid back. It's super, lackadaisical. It's very nonchalant. And obviously they get their work done. They're professionals and all of these things. But these were the standards that were set in place for this team. And it starts with the leadership, which is Steve Kerr. Now we're looking for some urgency now with this team to get them back in their rhythm. And like I said, maybe it's just time for a new leadership.
Very well could be. And if it's not now, it's going to be at some point. That's inevitable. Right. That is inevitable.
Can we agree Kerr has to be better?
Yeah, I think he would agree with that.
He has to be better. And that was DeMarcus Cousins. He was talking with Rachel Nichols. And that's the same thing I said. Team USA, that they flamed out. It went downhill quickly in that FIBA World Cup. And now we're seeing it with the Warriors as well. Kerr has to somehow be able to reach these young guys, somehow be able to fix this. He's the leader. Now, should he ask more of Steph from a leadership standpoint? I don't know. I don't know if Steph's that guy or not. But Kerr has to do a better job with these young players.
There's, as you say, the Warrior way, and I think they would say that too.
Yeah.
And there's the young players, and as you say, trying to get them to become part of the Warrior way. It's never worked. With this group that we're talking about, we'll just say Moody and Kuminga, it's never worked. They have not figured out how to do that. Does that mean that they need to do it the other way and adjust the Warrior way? Do they need a new coach? Do they need some, the idea was for Kuminga and Moody to be part of the new foundational pieces. That didn't work. So that's the bottom line. And I'm not saying you're wrong. If some of it's on Steve Kerr, that was the plan. This is how we bring this together. And then off we go into the future, a bright future. It has not worked. The 2 timeline plan, we heard about that.
Yeah.
We don't call it that anymore, but that's still basically what they're trying to do. And it has not worked. Failure.
Failure with a capital F, because you got 3 lottery picks. Moody, Kuminga, and Wiseman. And basically, you're not getting anything out of them. I know Kuminga plays 22 minutes a night. But to your point,
they shouldn't have picked Kuminga, in my opinion.
That's neither here or there. They did, and they didn't develop.
That's part of the failure, in my opinion.
Yeah, they didn't develop him. Have they developed Moses Moody?
They have not.
Okay, and that's what I'm talking about. And we can look also at the Warriors' heyday when they were, winning 3 out of 4 years, it wasn't because of young guys. They had savvy veterans, Iguodala.
Right.
Livingston.
They kept Iguodala around too long, too.
Yeah,
like he was some
right.
magic elixir
Yeah,
or something.
You got young guys that they're trying to make their mark in this league. It's only natural.
Mm-hmm.
And as coach, Steve Kerr is like, you're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. At some point, the players say, when is going to be our time? When are we going to get a chance to shine?
Mm-hmm.
The guy I feel worse for, Moses Moody, because he's been a good soldier, but for the most part. He's shown flashes. He just can't get on the floor now.
To bring it back to where the Kings are,
Yeah.
do you think if you're the Kings right now, you can look at the Warriors and say, well, they're not a threat to us this year? It looks that way right now. I'm still not willing to say that.
And I still would not want to see them in a playoff series. I just feel like the Warriors, for one game, they can get up. For a series against the Kings, they can get up. I'm not ready to write them off as a playoff team. I am ready to write them off currently as a contender.
They still have one more card to play, right? That is what happens when Draymond's back. And that could go any which way. But if you're the Warriors, you could say, well, we've been without Draymond.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens when he comes back.
Bob Myers said it the other day on ABC pregame show, I think it was. The whole Draymond situation and all the drama, it's exhausting. Trying to figure out the rotation without Draymond, it's exhausting. Then you bring Draymond back. Now you got to learn how to play with him. It's exhausting. And so by the time Draymond comes back and they actually figure things out, what are we, 33, 34 games in the season? Add another 15. You're like 50 games into the season and you're finally just starting. And sure, you could turn it on, but you got to look at the standings. Where are you at the standings at that point?
Mm-hmm.
And it might be too late.
I think that's the last stand here when Draymond comes back of the Warriors dynasty as we know it. If it doesn't work with Draymond coming back, then I think they're going to have one way or the other. Break it up.
Do you think they do something by February
8th?
With Draymond, Clay, or is it more of a Wiggins probably the most likely?
Yeah, they probably will do something.
Yeah, they got to, right?
And they also, they want to win. They still want to win.
They want to win, right?
Ownership wants to win. Yeah, so Wiggins on his way to Sacramento. I don't know how the poll's going. You'd be thrilled, right?
I would be thrilled.
You're having a big party?
I would drive down there, pick up Wiggs myself. We could chop it up.
What?
Talk about everything. Yeah, give me Wiggins. I like Wiggins.
Come on, stop.
You don't like Wiggins?
Nah, man.
Jay, you've been quiet for the last hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, man, because I've been letting you get it off your chest, dog. I mean, this is your show, but sooner or later, I'm at big fella. I'm going to have to say something.
Tell me why not. Give me something.
We got to break, man.
Oh, see.
We got to break. I got to pay some bills.
Figure out your argument.
Yeah.
Figure out your point of view there, and we'll get it when we come back.
SOFT soft.
Oh, we'll be right back with more on the trade deadline and the Kings and Raptors tonight. When we come back to the Golden One Center, Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't. Right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. People come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort. See what we can do for you with a free arch support fitting. Just stop in or schedule an appointment. With over 200 stores, there's likely one in your neck of the woods. Find yours at goodfeet.com.
Knee, foot, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, don't you soft on the party. This is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistible, soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. Rudy wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
We're from Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La, 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 la.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications, like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit Revive Men's Health.
Sports. Oh, a happy day. Yes. Kings, Raptors tonight. How can it be, Kyle Draper, that the Kings have not beaten the Raptors in Sacramento since 2016? How can that be?
That's a great question, man. And I know the Kings haven't been great. Remember, Raptors had Kawhi. They had a great team. DeMar DeRozan, Lowry.
On the team the last time they lost.
Yeah, they've been good. I get it. But you would think last year we would have got them, and instead we didn't. 113-95 they beat us last January. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've been talking about the Warriors a lot today because that was a great game last night. 2 great NBA games last night. A great night for the league.
Yeah, and Wembanyama, I mean, they call him an alien for a reason.
That's not what Reggie Miller calls him.
What do you call him?
Wembanyama. I mean, it's hard to do. He was smart. He kept saying Wemby, but a time or two he tried to say the name.
Tried to say the name.
Yeah. Wembanana or something.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard to say. But anyway, it was a great night
of basketball. There were only 2 games in the league last night.
Yeah.
And they were both fantastic. They were both great.
Is that the future of the league? Giannis against Wemby?
I think so. And it's crazy because when you look at, and they showed a graphic last night during the game, Giannis's rookie year versus Wemby's, Wemby blows his numbers out.
Sure.
Like, we forget Giannis.
We didn't know who he was.
We didn't know who he was. He was really skinny, and then his body transformed, and now he's unstoppable. And it's crazy to think what Wembanyama can be in 3 to 5 years. If he's already this good, probably might even make an all-star team this year or next year, where he is going to dominate this league. He's like the next wave of big man domination.
Yeah, just opened another one of his rookie cards last night. So.
Oh, look at you ripping. Oh, okay.
John Williams here on the chat. Could it be that Mike Brown was the key to the Warriors' success?
He held it all together.
How about that? Chat coming to the day nominee right there.
Yeah, I like that. And maybe
he got out at the right time.
Sacramento plucked him out at the perfect time because he got the ring and then bounced. But I will say this too, and I need to look at the Warriors. They got great coaches. But one thing Mike Brown is good at is relating to players. And I think that's a key job of an assistant coach. Because sometimes you can't go to the head coach. You're pissed off. You need a sounding board. And I wonder if Mike Brown was part of that, was a sounding board for some of the players there in Golden State.
You know what I'd heard? One of the things I'd heard through, people that are connected about Mike Brown before he came here was, and this obviously is proven to be not true, but one of the concerns was, he's a great coach, but, sometimes you can't be such a nice guy. You got to be the guy that, the word I'm thinking of, with your own players, and not everybody knows whether Mike Brown can be that guy or not. Well, he can be when he needs to be, right?
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
Yeah, exactly. And, he holds his players accountable. And one of the things he says, he learned from Steve Kerr too, is how to relate to players, how to have a softer tact with them, not, how to just chill a little bit, because Mike Brown's kind of high strung, wired tightly. He learned from Steve Kerr that, what, I can chill and everything will be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to micromanage every detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny how time passes so quickly. I mean, it doesn't seem like that long ago that the Warriors, Steph Curry is fresh face, and the kids, Klay Thompson, their jump shooting team, can they win? Well, that was 10, 11 years ago now, and now the Steve Kerr is dealing with a whole nother generation.
This is a whole, you're right. I mean, from the start of their run to now, players are completely different. It's a completely different game. It's a completely different, and they helped usher it in. But the players are different. Like, they're coming in now, and I don't blame Kuminga and Moody. It's been 3 years now. Like, when's their time to shine? And like you said earlier, they're trying to mix this old guard with this youth movement, and the two timelines. It's just not working.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad to hear that during the break you had time to think things over, and you've decided that you're going to back off your ridiculous stance on Wiggins.
Dude, what? I'm all in on Wiggins, and I don't know Jay coming from the top rope, the peanut gallery back there. What? Why would you want Wiggins?
He couldn't stand it anymore.
He's quiet now. I'm still waiting for him to tell me exactly why Andrew Wiggins would not fit here in Sacramento. Why you don't want him here?
Well, I'm actually doing a job over here, Mr. Draper, because
you work it.
Yeah, Shams just talked about the Raptors and the Sacramento Kings, so I'm getting that sound. I'm going to get that. Then I'm going to jump on later next hour and tell you why I'm not a Canadian Wiggins fan to come this way.
All right, I think I'm going to guess that it's because Wiggins is so basically just so soft when he's not playing well, and he's just kind of a non-factor and looks disinterested. And that's just historically what he's been when he hasn't played well. And I think that's been Wiggins more often than he's been the player that everyone thought he could be. So do I want him here and then hope that I get good Wiggins, impactful Wiggins? I don't want any part of that.
So let's have this discussion. Who would you rather have?
What are my choices? Okay.
No, I'm just saying in general. Siakam? Would you rather have Siakam than Wiggins?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Levine?
Nope. Don't want him.
All right.
No thanks.
Jeremy Grant?
No. And I went through my phase. Right.
So
you kind of helped talk me out of that period. Yeah.
DeJounte Murray?
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Okay.
Like him a lot.
Right. What does he want? What has he done? And I love DeJounte also. But he's putting up empty numbers down there in Atlanta right now.
He's putting up numbers and he can defend. He's been, I think, a more consistent performer at a higher level than Wiggins. The thing about Wiggins is my friend Dan Dibley on the flagship down there, he compares Wiggins to a radio station at K-Wigs. And sometimes K-Wigs is playing like Wham and Soft Rock and Coldplay. And it's like, you know, and then every so often they change their format. But that's a great description of Wiggins, the good and the bad. And I love Wiggins. I hope he has a great career, but just too often he's like, man, what's wrong with him? What happened? Hey, are you okay? And you don't want to trade assets to bring in a guy like that.
I don't know if it would have to be, you would have to give up a whole lot. Because like I said, they have a logjam. They're going to be sellers. Like they're going to be addition by subtraction. Now, if you say, all right, I'm out on Wiggins, well, then tell me who you want. Give me who?
Pascal Siakam. I like that.
Do you know how much Pascal? We got who? Shams, Jay? We got
Shams was on the show, The Rally for Stadium. This was about 5 minutes ago. He's talking about the Raptors and the Kings' interest in Pascal.
Let's hear it. We'll get that for you at some point.
You ready, Jay?
Ramping up trade talks around Pascal Siakam, and I'm told the Sacramento Kings are emerging as a serious suitor in Siakam. They're among the offers and options that Toronto has, and this is a gaining interest for Sacramento to pair and combine a big three of Pascal Siakam, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis if they're able to pull a deal off. But what could be a very integral part of these conversations with Siakam is he is on an expiring contract of about $38 million, and his willingness and his desire to re-sign as a free agent in July, whether that's in Sacramento or another team that he does get moved to, that is going to play a big part in this. That could play a major role in this. If that team that's trying to get him is going to want to check into whether he will resign as a free agent. And if not, that could also dissuade some teams.
Wow.
There we go. Thank you, Jay.
Wow.
Thank you, Shams. Thank you, Pascal Siakam. I like it. I like it a lot. And I know there's huge risk. I don't think there's any way Pascal Siakam's going to say to the Kings or anybody, okay, I will agree to resign with you. He's just not going to do that. I still think he's worth the risk.
Sound like somebody going up to Canada to grab someone, but not the one Drapes wants.
You know, I never said I didn't want Siakam.
No,
I like Siakam.
Okay,
I think, but what's the price? It got to be 3 first round because we don't have the player assets that Toronto's interested in.
I'm just going by what your buddy Kevin O'Connor says. He says it revolves around like Davion, Herter, Barnes, and a first, some combination thereof. And you don't know that.
I tell you what,
that would mean that Toronto must really like Herter, Barnes, Davion, some combination.
I'll tell you right now, Sacramento Kings fans and people on the YouTube chat, I'm gonna look directly into my camera right now. That package that we just heard, Herter, Barnes, Davion, and what, a first?
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done. That's a worse package, arguably, than what they got for OG Anunoby.
So you would definitely do it for that if you could.
If I'm Sacramento, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand it might be for half a season rental. I'm looking at 2 teams that, in my opinion, and I'm not Shams, I'm not O'Connor, I'm not all these guys. I'm going to tell you from what I know about the NBA. And if I was a GM, 2 teams to keep an eye on. Golden State and the Lakers. Golden State and the Lakers. The way Sacramento wins this sweepstakes, Whitey, is 3 first-round picks. It's going to take 2 or 3 first-round picks. At least. We're talking about an all-star level, and I understand, expiring contract. Now, if it's 2 or 3 first-round picks, are you still okay with doing that deal?
If it's 2 and I can put some protections on it, yeah. And I know I'm not dancing around your question, but, quite often you're talking about top 10 protected, whatever protections. Yes, I'm very interested in that, even though
you might lose him.
I think I probably will lose him.
And
I'd like to think I got a chance to keep him, but I probably would lose him.
Now, let me ask you this. You bring Siakam in. What does that mean for Keegan Murray?
Keegan, I don't think that it impacts him that much other than maybe there's not going to be as many shots available, but
right.
I think he still is going to have every opportunity to continue to develop. And maybe he can develop, if I bring in Siakam, at a slightly more comfortable rate for him. Yeah, we don't need you now to be all league by the end of March. Maybe it actually helps with Keegan's development.
I will eat my T-shirt if this deal happens. It just does not make sense from this point. First of all, you're giving up a bunch of assets for a rental. Second of all, getting Siakam would directly impact the development of Keegan Murray.
Will you wear your Brock Purdy jersey?
I will wear my Brock Purdy jersey on air for a week if they do that deal, because I would be shocked. I would be floored. Not saying I don't like Pascal. I love Pascal Siakam. I think he's a tremendous player. But he comes here, and now Keegan, you're telling me, is our fourth option?
I think it might help Keegan's development.
When all I've heard and everything I've seen is this guy we expect him to take the leap. He's our guy. He's untradeable. We're not giving him away for now. So you're saying we're going to hold on to him as our fourth option?
We'll get back to it. We have to
Do we got Emil coming up?
Yes.
Man, I don't want to talk to that dude.
Emil Fregoso, our 49er insider, talking about Pro Bowl snubs. One of your favorites, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Emil is a Pro Bowl snub victim. So we'll get to Emil, and we'll get back to the conversation today. And, breaking news, Sham says the Kings are in. Sham says the Kings are in on Siakam, who will be here tonight. It's a big night here at the Gold One Center with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockrell with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. 2023 ended up being a good year for stock market growth, but what did the flow of money into stock market-based funds tell us? 2023 saw inflows of more than $172 billion, the lowest since 2019. Money market funds, likely led by the high interest rates, saw inflows of $1.34 trillion, exceeding the past 3 years combined. As interest rates decrease, there may be more money on the sidelines that could flow into stock-based investments, providing fuel for more growth. Will the Federal Reserve cut rates in 2024? Stocks represented by the S&P 500 have never rallied more than 11% in the 3 months prior to a rate cut. After a rate cut, stocks tend to rally for up to 7 months with an average gain of 12%. According to investors.com, the first cut has a 78% chance of happening by May 2024, possibly one of up to 6 cuts in 2024. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Frank Cockrell is a registered representative of Lincoln Financial Advisors Corporation, a broker-dealer and member SIPC and registered investment advisor. Retirement Security Centers is not an affiliate of Lincoln Financial Advisors.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
This is Jeff Scott. Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now, there are medicines that can treat COVID whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
The new year is a great time for reflection, to appreciate all the good things in your life and to prepare your resolutions, or bucket list as I like to call it. 2024 would be the perfect time to introduce someone new to the game of golf. Let them in on the fun. Or if you've never played, it's a wonderful time to start. Maybe go to a driving range, maybe take an introductory lesson. Or if you're an established golfer, maybe you want to get fitted for a new set of golf clubs. Maybe you want to take some refresher lessons to sharpen up your game. Consider a golf getaway, either with your significant other or a group of buddies. It's a great way to play new courses, eat some tasty new foods, and certainly laugh a lot with your friends. If you normally use a golf cart, consider walking with a push cart, or maybe even lightening your bag and carrying your clubs. Go back and play where you played your first round of golf or your all-time favorite round. Remember why you play the game and how much it means to you. Leave the course in better condition than you found it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We just got spice here with Shams reporting that the Kings are all in on Pascal Siakam, who will be here tonight. So are the Rock'em Siakam robots in the Kings' future. We will get back to that. But, of course, also this weekend, the NFL wrapping up its regular season. 49ers and Rams game this Sunday, by the way, will be airing on KNCI HD2, starting with the pregame at 12:25 and kickoff at 1:25. We continue with Kyle Draper's favorite guest. I can't wait to talk to Emil, our Sactown Sports 49er insider, brought to you by Timber Creek Ballroom in Roseville, Emil Fragoso. Emil, how are you doing today?
I am in studio, boys, and I have a lot to get off my chest, and one directed at Kyle Draper, frankly, to talk about this week. But first, Draper, I have to talk to you about the Siakam deal because I'm going to put it on air right now. I think Siakam gets traded tonight. I think he goes to the Sacramento Kings. Ooh. It makes too much sense. And you want Keegan Murray as your fourth option. He's not ready yet to take on this role. He's 23 years old. Move him back to his natural position, which is small forward. Let Siakam run the floor and help Demonis out defensively. This is a great trade that they can do it without giving up Keegan, which I think they can because they have their picks.
He's right because it actually will help Keegan's development.
Correct. He's a small forward, not a power forward.
You see, you guys are looking at it from the Sacramento perspective. This is the problem when we have this conversation. You guys are looking at it from a fan. This is what you hope will happen. If I'm Toronto and you're offering me Barnes, Herter, Davion, and a first, I'm just going by what Kevin O'Connor said.
Right. That's me too.
Why wouldn't I call Golden State and say, can I get Jonathan Kuminga?
Because they're going to say no, but you can have Wiggins and click.
They don't want another Canadian.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the players that we're going to send them, does not move them closer to a championship.
Here's the problem, though. They don't really have leverage. He's on an expiring deal, and they just let Fred VanVleet walk in free agency, and they're still mad about that. Masai has to get something. He saves face here with getting rotation players and culture guys, a younger guard in Davion to play off Emmanuel quickly long-term, and 2 firsts.
Monty's got the Raptors over a barrel, and he's about to take advantage of it tonight.
And why would Siakam leave on a rental? Why wouldn't he want to play with this team? It's a good team. It's with 2 guys who are legitimate all-star, all-NBA players. It's a team that wants to compete for a championship, wants to compete in the postseason. You sign him long-term, and it's a basketball-focused, minded city. It's not about all the extra stuff.
Usually you guys wait till we talk about the Eagles before you disagree. So
I got receipts to pull up on Drapes on that one.
Because here's the problem with what you guys are talking about, and I get it. I love Pascal. I think Pascal's phenomenal.
By the way, you are changing your argument, but go ahead.
I'm changing my argument?
Because you were just telling us, Keegan, and then we explained to you why. No, it's good for Keegan. So now you're leaving that. We're going somewhere else. But
no,
you go ahead.
My argument is I love Pascal Siakam. I don't think it's going to happen because of A, short-term rental. B, I don't think Toronto would do it. And C, I don't think we've been talking about Keegan's development. Now you're okay with Keegan. Dude, we had discussions. Oh, I wouldn't trade Keegan for LeBron right now. I wouldn't trade.
Not. That's what makes this
but Pascal Siakam is 29 years old.
Yes.
Pascal Siakam is going to command $35 to $40 million in the open market.
As he should.
Are you telling me, because I just looked this up, Sacramento, are you telling me the Kings are going to have Fox at $35 million next year, Domas at $42 next year, and Siakam at $40?
I'm not sure they have Siakam next year, but I'm okay with that for now. I don't know if they have.
What about you, Emil? You okay with just 3 months of Siakam for that package?
I don't think it is 3 months. I think again, he's going to go into free agency. He doesn't want the 2-year extension. He wants the 4-year extension.
Right.
But he's going to be able to get extra money from the Kings because I believe of the bird rights. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And he will sign a deal with the Kings because he will fall in love with the city of Sacramento and playing basketball in Sacramento.
You guys.
It just happened with Sabonis.
You're thinking with your hearts, and not with your mind. That's the problem.
This makes so much sense.
Do we even know Sacramento as a franchise would be willing to pay somebody $40 to $45 million a year?
They just gave Sabonis an increase in salary for no reason.
Based on the reporting, I think so. You're right. I don't know. Monty hasn't shared that with me, but based on the reporting, I think so. If it's not true, I don't know.
So we're
not making this up.
We're going to be a salary cap team. We're going to be one of those teams.
Because this team needs to have bigger aspirations than a first-round exit. And with this current roster, it's probably a first-round exit. This team, if they want to be, can be a second or even Western Conference Finals team contender if they get a guy like Siakam, who is an all-NBA player and can play defense.
Remember what Jake Fisher said? Let me just, if I may. Jake Fisher mentioned this yesterday, and I kind of missed it. He talked about Monty McNair and what he's learned from Daryl Morey, right? Daryl Morey, one of his philosophies is when talent becomes available, you grab it because you don't know if it's going to be available later.
Correct.
You figure the rest out later.
This isn't about Monty McNair. This is what I'm telling you guys.
This is a rare opportunity to get a very good player.
This is about Masai Ujiri, and Pascal Siakam is an all-star level. Why do you think Shams is leaking this right now? Who do you think this is coming from? This is Masai's way of telling teams, hey, you better come with your best package right now to get Pascal Siakam.
That very well could be.
That
very well could be.
It's saying that we have a month and a half to trade Siakam or we lose him for nothing.
We know they're going to trade him. I just don't think the Kings package is the best they could get for Siakam. That's what I'm talking about.
It is if other teams look at it and go, you know what? Yeah, we just don't want to assume that.
It is if no one else offers anything better. If the Kings offer is the best and they're going to take it. It makes the most sense.
Do we know that? Do we know? Like, if I'm Toronto, I mean, I'm looking at Atlanta and saying, give me DeJounte Murray and I forget their young player right now and 2 first-round picks. Why wouldn't Atlanta do that? That's what I'm saying. I don't think Sacramento has the best package. And you said, it'll happen tonight. It ain't happening. Emil, you know what? I hate to do this to you, big fella. There's a reason why you're not an NBA insider.
Oh, that's not necessary.
Now, if you tell me the Niners are going to do something, I'm going to sit back and defer.
And there's a reason
you
don't work covering NFL either, buddy. It's
exactly.
Okay.
I'm deferring to you, big fella. I defer to you on NFL news.
As I sit up here in the big chair where Whitey sits usually, and I pull up receipts of you laughing in my face 3 weeks ago saying the Eagles are going to win out. The Eagles are going to win out. Who they got in the schedule? Well, guess what? You lost to the Arizona Cardinals, who really aren't that good. And not only that, you lost to the defensive coordinator who you wanted to run out of the building in Philadelphia. Yeah, he came back and beat you in Philly.
We're good. We're just talking sports. We're just talking sports here.
Emil, who's your team?
The Raiders.
Oh, shut up, then. You can't even. You're not even invited to the big boy table.
What are you talking about? I cover the 49ers. I grew up liking the Raiders.
Don't,
what are you talking about?
Your team is not even in the conversation. You guys
they weren't
even
supposed to be.
Exactly. So don't crap on my team when your team ain't even invited to the
Why are you changing the subject?
Your squad is sitting at the children's table during Thanksgiving dinner. At least my team's at the big boy table.
Emil is merely pointing out, he's not saying the Raiders are better than anybody. He's just pointing out that some of the things you said to him were not accurate. That's all.
They were.
I mean, that's all he's saying.
And I was right. And that's what we're bringing this up for.
And let me educate Emil on being a personality. Sometimes you got to take a stand. You can't just be vanilla and on the fence.
And he's being vanilla.
Whatever I say, it's passionate, and at the time, I believe it. As you get more information in, you weren't on here Monday or Tuesday when I said the Eagles were the most disappointing team in the NFL. Me and my Eagles fans, we said we can't wait for this season to get over.
But
I've said that.
Yes, you did. But if Emil just lets it go, then he's being vanilla. So, I mean, he's subscribing to your
man.
I gotta clap back. I gotta clap back a little bit.
Tell me
okay?
who's playing or not, and figure out your head coach situation before you come talk about the Eagles.
Yeah, we're just having fun, right?
We are.
Hey, Selena, I'm mad right now. You're like 2 hours late on the lunch.
It's okay.
Dinner time. It's dinner time.
Drake's calling out everybody right now, man. It's okay, man. That's all right, brother.
Emil, I think you got to him a little bit.
Yeah,
it's okay. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get the Drapes. This is not Emil talking to Drape. This is Emiliano Fragoso talking to Kyle Draper right here. This is what this is, man. Come on now.
Right.
Stay at the kids' table and figure out your head coach.
Who do you think the 49ers are going to end up playing in their first playoff game, Emil? What's your best guess? We know who.
Niner fans aren't going to like this.
Uh-oh.
It's going to be the Los Angeles Rams.
Really?
It's going to be Los Angeles. This week is a scouting week for the play. Look, let's be honest here. The Rams are probably going to end up being the 6th seed. Even if they win this game, they're probably going to be the 6th seed. And guess who they're playing first week of the wild card weekend? Detroit. Matthew Stafford gets to go home to Detroit and gets to have that big win over his franchise. And then they come back to Santa Clara a week after and have to play the 49ers. This is just written in the stars. And this is the one team in the NFC I really don't want the Niners to see because there's so much history with it as is. And they are the most surging team besides the Niners in the NFC right now.
Can we agree here that if the 49ers end up playing Philly, that you guys will go to the game together and we can?
You know what? I'm going to lose his number. I'm about to block him on social
I didn't have your number. You don't have my number. I don't have your number. Don't even play it like that.
All right. Don't pull no Cam Newton Debo on me now. Okay. I'm going to mute you on social media right now.
Okay.
Go for it.
I got to
mute him to Emil. Now that you had it, go on and mute him to
you see how this is? I'm calling him out and saying some stuff. I'm gonna mute you. Okay, cool. I'm still gonna see you at work. I still got a segment every Friday with you.
Oh man,
you can't avoid me. I'm inevitable.
I'm getting sick on Fridays.
Like Thanos.
I'm taking long weekends, big dog.
Emil, if the 49ers rush the ball well this week while CMC is out, can we agree that CMC is a system running back?
Oh, my gosh. As he breaks 2,000 yards, scrimmage yards for the first time since 2019. Yeah, sure, he's a system back. Look, getting anything out of Elijah Mitchell right now is so pivotal to this team because Elijah's been up and down off the injury report with knee issues and illnesses and hamstrings and whatnot. Going 17 carries for 80 yards was so beneficial, not only for just the team and how they can operate, interchanging with CMC, but just Elijah's confidence moving forward. It's been a rough 2 years for Elijah. I would love to see Elijah get the bulk of the carries this week, but also throw in some Jordan Mason. Give him some closer minutes. Give him some real time to work out the kinks because he has struggled a little bit in the passing game and blocking. This is going to be a real experiment week of, okay, what rotations can we take going into the postseason?
Emil Fragoso joining us here, Sactown Sports 1140. Emil, Jason Verrett, another season-ending injury. What can you tell us about it, and how does this impact the squad?
Yeah, it's another devastating blow. Jason Verrett's sixth season-ending injury in his NFL career, unfortunately. He's only played in 22 games since the 2016 season. Jason Verrett went up for a pass yesterday at practice and came down hard on his shoulder. He is going to have rotator cuff surgery, be out the next 4 to 6 months. And while it isn't a blow to the Niners' secondary rotation as big as it could be because he wasn't really featured, he was going to get a lot of run this week just to try and figure out the rotation. But it's a blow to this locker room because they really rally around him as one of their, I'm not going to say leaders, but cultural setters because of just how resilient and how much perseverance he's had over the last few years going back from these injuries. You forget, he tore his ACL in the 2021 season the first week. Then he came back. The week he was coming back practicing, tore his Achilles at practice. And now he has this rotator cuff injury going into the postseason. It's just devastating for this guy who the Niner players, defense especially, just love having him on the roster.
Emil, other than the injuries, and I know that's always the primary concern for virtually every team, but especially it's an issue for the 49ers. Putting that aside, what do you think is their biggest concern heading into the postseason? Would it be stopping the run?
Yeah, it'd be stopping. It'd be really getting Eric Armstead back healthy and back to his true form, because without Eric Armstead, the Niners' run defense has really, really struggled. Yes, Javon Hargrave is back there and playing very well at a Pro Bowl level, but their best run defender is Eric Armstead. It's why they signed Sebastian Joseph-Day on a free, because they have issues on the interior. And guys like Eric Armstead, while his stats don't speak volumes, he is their best run defender, and they have to stop the run. They can't let teams go out there and dominate them, go out there and set the tone. They have to play Niners football. What went well against Washington? They had 15 minutes more possession. They controlled the game. They controlled the clock. They had literally a 7-minute drive in the third quarter to kind of ice the game away. So the Niners team needs to just play their football and let everything else work out. And just like I always say, run the dang football. Run the ball. Your whole team is a run-first offense, then pass the ball later. Help out Brock Purdy. Help out your boys.
Emil has always said that. Run the dang football, Kyle. Run the dang football.
You don't want your MVP quarterback to chuck it 50 times?
Look,
not this week.
Tom Brady had a good run game, too, in New England. Just saying.
Yeah. Sam Darnold, how big is this game for him? Is he auditioning for his next job?
Oh, he absolutely is. Sam Darnold is 100% auditioning for his next starting job. And look, Sam Darnold, it was between Brock and Sam all the way through going into training camp and then into the preseason, all that stuff. Sam Darnold is still a very serviceable quarterback. And even when Sam has gotten in this year during the blowouts, even the Ravens game, Kyle really let Sam kind of just rip it. Just go out there and throw it. He wasn't holding them back and just doing run plays. He wanted to see Sam and how he's developed in his processing, because that's always been the issue with Sam Darnold. He has all the talent in the world, but his processing when during a play on the field has been very much lackluster since he entered the NFL. And I don't know if that's because he went to the New York Jets and they kind of broke his brain, but it has to have gotten better under Kyle Shanahan. And this is what this week, Sam Darnold versus Carson Wentz hopefully is going to show that Sam Darnold is still a fringe starting quarterback in the NFL.
Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 1140 insider. So Sam Darnold's getting it. What about Trent Williams? Is he playing this week?
Yeah, most of the starters actually are playing this
Okay.
week. Trent Williams will play, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw. Most of the usuals will go. I do know no Christian McCaffrey, no Brock Purdy, no Eric Armstead. Obviously, the injured guys aren't going to go. Deshaun Gibson and Jair Brown both are a little banged up right now. They want to get him in kind of like a preseason game, a quarter or two, the first half, get up big on the Rams by 2 scores, and then bring them out, put the bench in. They don't want them to play the whole game because obviously risk of injury in a meaningless Week 18 game. But there's a 3-week gap between Week 17 and the divisional round of the postseason, really, for them. It's a long gap. It's a long break for this team. They really want to keep that rhythm and going. And even Brock Purdy was really lobbying to play this week, but Kyle put the kibosh in that and said, no, we're going to play Sam. We're going to keep you healthy and stuff. And they didn't really sit great with Brock because Brock's always going out there wanting to play every snap. So this team, even though it's a meaningless game in terms of playoff standings, they're still playing the Rams. They still want to get that over. And if they do beat the Rams, it's the first time in NFL history that they have clean sweep the Rams in back-to-back seasons.
Wow. Emil, Kyle, I like to bring people together. That's what I want to do more than anything. And I think I've found some common ground here for the two of you. Kyle Draper has a favorite 49er. I think he's a Pro Bowl snub. I think Emil agrees with that. Emil, did you know that Brandon Ayuk is Kyle's favorite 49er? And would you agree that he was snubbed by the Pro Bowl voters?
I would agree he was snubbed. And actually, I was talking to a couple players yesterday about this on background. I can't say who, but one of the Pro Bowlers did mention that he was upset that Brand didn't make it and that he wanted Brand to make it over a certain rival wide receiver in the same division. He thought that Brand deserved it over him. Additionally, they're also very upset that Drake Greenlaw didn't make it. And obviously, Drake Greenlaw is the second best linebacker on this team behind Fred Warner. There's only 2 spots for the inside linebacker spot, and that went to Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner, who I'll push back. As great as Drake Greenlaw has been this season, 120 combined tackles, Bobby Wagner has 168 combined tackles this season. Yes, Seattle's not playing as well, but 168 combined tackles, I understand the nod. I get it. It's just there's not enough spots. Drake Greenlaw should be a Pro Bowler. Brandon Ayuk should be a Pro Bowler. Hell, Mitch Wisnowski, their punter, should be a Pro Bowl punter. He just should be. But again, it's a popularity contest. We'll see what happens with All Pro next week.
All right. Thank you, Emil. We appreciate it. Good job.
Let me just say this real quick. Wait.
Yeah.
Let me tell people about Emil real quick. I was in Tuesday, Wednesday. Jay turns to me and says, "Oh, Emil can't wait to get you." So Emil been stewing on this all week long.
Yep.
He been waiting to get at me. So I got blindsided here. He just, I ran into
blindsided. You said Tuesday, Wednesday. What are you talking about?
I ran into a blitzkrieg right here. I thought we were going to start off nice and slow. You know what Emil was? He was like, I'm in here wrestling with Whitey, and Emil runs from the back. The dressing room
with
comes
a chair.
over with the chair.
And that Money in the Bank contract. I'm cashing it, baby.
I see how it is, Emil. That's all right, big fella.
I had to get my
You're
licks
blocked
in.
anyway, so it's all good.
I have a show this week, so I had to get my licks in. So
thank you, Emil.
Appreciate you
We
guys.
appreciate it. He is brought to you by Timber Creek Ballroom in Roseville. Yeah, I just got a text from the great Chris Watkins, and he just said, "Oh my goodness!" So we oh my goodness! Emil from the top row.
I know Emil came from the dressing room, wasn't even a part of this match, and then all of a sudden, that's all good, Emil. You got one.
Well, it's an exciting day. I mean, you're probably right about the talk about Siakam. It probably is coming from Toronto, but it's just exciting to have,
no doubt,
no doubt, somebody like Sham say the Kings are in on this,
and now this game takes on added meaning, right? Like, and somebody, I think it was on the YouTube chat, says, "Dude, does the crowd cheer Siakam when he gets introduced tonight?
We got to do
show
it.
him some love." I would love Pascal Siakam. This is not a question of whether I want him here.
Right, understood.
And if it was between him and Andrew Wiggins, give me Pascal Siakam. I love Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. The latest on Pascal Siakam and why today he is being linked to the Kings when we come back to the Golden One Center. Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right out of the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The 49ers rang in 2024 with 2 wins. First, defeating Washington 27-10 on the road, Week 17. Then, they clinched the NFC thanks to Arizona's win over Philadelphia. San Francisco now heads into Week 18 with the best record in the conference to finish out the regular season against Los Angeles, before having a bye week to open the postseason.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Right now, American Energy offering $0 HVAC diagnostics. That's normally $99 for nothing. Let the American Energy team test your system, connections, and all the moving parts of your system to ensure it's functioning properly. Let me say that again. $0 to get your HVAC diagnostic-ted. That's not even a word. That's normally $100. Making the uncomfortable comfortable. That's what American Energy does. That's what they've done since 1981. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since then. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. Do it before January 31st or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger. Because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The new year is upon us with promises of new beginnings and new adventures, but don't let 2023 slip away without savoring the memories of all you enjoyed with family and friends. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Of course, looking forward with anticipation is exciting, but I have a lot to appreciate in this past year, and much of that revolves around time with family and more good time spent around my Naturewood dining table. Watching my grandson get messy with his birthday cake is priceless, and it reminds me that new life is the perfect balance between yesterday and today. Greet the new year with a visit to Naturewood Home Furnishings. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's New Year sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. The memories you make with your family will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
everything. Not a Woj bomb, a Shams bomb.
Right. Keon's shooting the ball well.
He does look good, though. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw him out here shooting by himself?
No, it's been a while, right?
Been a while.
With the young guys or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll see if he's back in the rotation tonight. Like, I still don't know why he fell out of the rotation, really. I thought he had been playing halfway decent.
Wouldn't you agree? To me, it's crystal clear with him. If he shot the ball well, just consistently well, maybe not great, but well, he would play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you look at his defense. He's a pretty good defender, and has a little bit of size to him. You know, that's where I think he sets himself apart a little bit from Davion. Just his length to challenge shots and bother shots.
Disruptor. The passing lanes. Yeah.
And I think same thing with Davion too, though. If he could just, knock down shots, just make some baskets, then you could give him some more playing time.
Yeah, I wish him the best there, but that could be Toronto's problem soon, right?
I'm done talking about.
We're just getting started.
The Raptor. I'm trying to focus on the game, dude. I got to call this game. You got my head all messed up right now with
not me.
Trade rumors. Shams coming in.
It's not me. It's Shams. And here was Shams today on ESPN. Here's what he had to say about Siakam and the Kings and the possibility of a deal.
Trade talks around Pascal Siakam, and I'm told the Sacramento Kings are emerging as a serious suitor in Siakam. They're among the offers and options that Toronto has, and this is a gaining interest for Sacramento to pair and combine a big three of Pascal Siakam, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis if they're able to pull a deal off. But what could be a very integral part of these conversations with Siakam is he is on an expiring contract of about $38 million, and his willingness and his desire to re-sign as a free agent in July, whether that's in Sacramento or another team that he does get moved to, that is going to play a big part in this that could play a major role in this if that team that's trying to get him is going to want to check into whether he will re-sign as a free agent. And if not, that could also dissuade some teams.
That was Shams on Stadium this afternoon. Anything new in there? I think if there's anything new in there, because we've been talking about Siakam and the Kings for a while, the suggestion that the Kings are in and that this is, what was the term he used? They have growing interest. He makes it sound as if, as far as the Kings are concerned, they are legitimately interested. They are in on Siakam.
It makes sense. I mean, from a player perspective and who he is, long, mid-range game is on point, can shoot. I mean, Siakam's an all-star caliber
defends.
player. He defends, but I called, what? Let's just pause a little bit. And I'm not the only one. Our guy, Carmichael Dave, you can hear him in the mornings. I think he's over across the pond right now. He just tweeted out, I really am having a tough time believing the Kings could get Siakam and not offer up any of the core four. Keegan, Fox, Sabonis, and I would imagine he's talking Malik Monk, let's say, as the core four. Add the fact that Ujiri asked for a lot. Siakam is determined to test free agent waters. It doesn't add up.
How long you been in Sacramento now? 3 years?
Yeah.
And you want to hitch your wagon at Carmichael Dave? I mean, if you want to, that's good.
I'm just saying, I'm not the only one. Because this is the problem. I don't want fans to get all, it may happen, and then when it doesn't happen, what's Monty doing? Oh, Monty, how come you couldn't make this deal and everything? Let's just calm down. Let's calm down. First of all, calm down. Take it easy. Take it easy. I mean, we got to think logically, and that's what. And I know Carmichael Dave doesn't do that often. That's not his forte. I understand that, but to his point, it smells a little fishy to me right now. And so I'm not going to allow myself to get all worked up. It's happening. Like Emil said tonight. Like, you know what? Right before pregame warmups, you know what, Siakam, why don't you go to that locker room? Other guys go to. Come on, man.
Well, I understand what you're saying. First of all, it is fun. And to have Shams say it gives it a little bit more credibility. So, yeah, I mean, I'm having fun with that. Fans are having fun with it. You're right, though. I mean, it does seem like, wow, if that's all you'd have to give up to get Siakam, then I guess no one else is interested. But that would be, wow, yes, we would do that.
Right.
Other than that, the other thing, and I know we've talked about this, and when Monty made the deal for Sabonis, we didn't hear a lot about that.
Didn't hear that. Yeah, you didn't hear anything.
Yeah, so he's got kind of a record of doing these deals in kind of a stealth manner.
Yeah, the Kings don't leak much.
How would we be hearing about this? Well, as you said, it would make sense if it's coming from Toronto side. Why would they do that? Well, they want to do that if they want to jack up the price. So that all makes sense. But it's still, it's exciting and it's fun because.
Why am I the bad guy, Whitey?
Well,
why do people get mad at me
because
you're talking nonsense and everything?
Because
like
we're trying to have fun with it, and you're like lecturing us like, knock it off, you kids. Go to bed.
My bad. I apologize. You know what? We can still believe in the abominable snowman also. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Exactly.
And we're waiting.
Bunny still
We're waiting for Siakam to come. We're excited. You're knock it off and go to bed.
I'm a realist. Fun. I'm a realist.
Fellas, quickly, do you think, and it's funny that OG was the first one to go, but as I kind of sift through what you guys are talking about, and I'm listening to Shams as well, do you kind of think some of the NBA is like, and maybe this is a Masai Ujiri, and I actually agree with Drapes on this one. I think he's pushing up the price because I think some of the league is like, listen, if we know Pascal is not going to re-sign here, then we're not giving anything for the future. Right. We're at all zero, zilch. So you're only going to get a couple of, I want to say journeymen, but you're going to get some decent pieces, veterans, whatever you want to call them, maybe a second round, maybe a team on the back end of the first. But do you think the league is starting to say, well, listen, if he doesn't want to sign here, we can't get a guarantee, then we're not even trying for him?
If there's any truth to the reports that the Kings may be in with what we think they're offering, I think that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah,
the Kings are really in it with, Davion, Barnes, Herter, a pick. If
that means other teams are backing off.
I think so.
We don't, and to that point, and that may be happening, it pays, it does use Masai Ujiri a benefit to put this out there to sort of drive it up a little. Oh, is that all it's going to take?
Right.
To get that? Oh, I could jump in here. If I'm Miami, offer up a Jaquez or somebody like that. That's a nice young piece, Jaime Jaquez. Why not Miami get it? And so, but I just feel like
you may be right, but the upside for the Kings is that it could be an indication, no way of knowing, that Masai Ujiri's looking around going, I can't believe I can't get more for this guy.
Now, if this was February 6th and this came out, February 5th, there's still 6 weeks. There's still plenty of time. 4.5 weeks left, 5 weeks before the trade deadline.
Yeah, it could be, to Jay's point, an indication that the Raptors are getting a little anxious. Like, why are we getting better offers? I do think Siakam, as far as a fit with the Kings, he's a 3-and-D guy plus, right? He's a 3-and-D guy. I think you look at the roster, it's one thing that, wow, they could use that. He is that and more.
Yes, he is. And I pulled up his page right here. He's listed at 6, Spicy P. Listed at 6'8", but we know his wingspan is much longer. From having a rough time shooting, not necessarily known as a three-point shooter, 28% this year, 32% last year, 34%, 29%, career 32% shooter. But, and I've said it earlier this season, I think the Kings need multiple guys who can get buckets when the system breaks down. Keegan is developing into that. We see Malik do it. We see Fox do it. Like, I think they need another, and that's why I was in on Zach LaVine earlier. Like, you need another guy when when teams take away your offense, like we saw Golden State do, we can still put it in this guy's hands, and he's going to get a bucket for us.
Yeah.
And I think Siakam fits that bill.
Absolutely. Would we come right back more on the Kings and the buzz about the Raptors and Siakam in Sacramento? Also tell you how the NFL's grip on TV dominance, it's even tighter than we thought. All that and more next on this. I have a feeling it's going to be a special Friday night here at the Golden One Center with the Drive Guys.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
That was another way I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart, it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. The Queen Sleep Number C2 smart bed is now only $9.90 for a limited time. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper, your boy Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, if you've been on the fence about buying your first electric luxury car, it's time to get off the fence and go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I'm challenging you. Test drive any Mercedes-Benz fully electric car or SUV, and you will fall in love. In fact, my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is out in the parking lot right now. You know, I had a Tesla before this, but once I got the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, it felt like a brand new driving experience. It's on an entirely different level. Now, here's what I love about my EQS SUV. First of all, from the moment I sit in it, I feel like I'm stepping in a world of luxury. Plus, it's easy charging, and it has heated seats and cooling seats as well. It's an ultimate driving experience. I urge you, go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They're just 30 minutes from Sacramento. They're right off of I-5. Or, of course, you can always go online at mbfstockton.com.
The Drive Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Having fun here at the Golden One Center. Before we get any further, I know Jay has a question as we're dealing with all these swirling trade rumors. Just real quick here, we got a big football weekend coming up. Then we got football next weekend with the postseason. I saw this yesterday. The most watched sporting events of the year. Okay, the top ones were NFL games. They're just give me your best guess, Kyle and Jay. How far down the list of the most watched sporting events from last year do I have to go before I get to something that's not an NFL game?
I saw this.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna sit back.
Okay. Jay, you want to take a guess, Jay?
I'm gonna say 5, 6.
Come on, man.
Put those two together, and you have the answer.
What?
56. The 56 most watched sporting events of the year were all NFL games.
56.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Yes.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Then you go all the way down. 57th was Ohio State, Michigan football. And then the Alabama-Georgia SEC championship game was next. And third place for non-NFL sporting events was the college football playoff national championship game. Top 56 top-rated sports shows from last year, NFL games. And the top-rated event that was not football was March Madness, the championship game. Then you had, did you see these? The ones that were.
I didn't look really close, but yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, March Madness. The Kentucky Derby was second. NBA Finals Game 5.
Yep.
Final Four. The Masters. Heat Celtics Game 7. NBA Finals Game 2. Another Final Four game, and then the NBA Finals Game 1. But the top The World Series
NFL
wasn't until you didn't get to the World Series till that was the 13th most watched non-NFL event. Yeah, it was the World Series. So 56.
And I saw like
56.
the Golden Globes was up there in terms of like most watched TV events. So I mean, the NFL is just I don't know if I want to go there with this. I'll throw it out there. We've seen protests. We've seen people say, "Oh, I'm never watching the NFL again." We've seen people talk about the injuries, concussions. The NFL is dying. These numbers don't indicate that.
Right.
Our infatuation with the NFL is still very strong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Fantasy football. I don't know how many leagues you're in. I'm in 2 fantasy football leagues. And the NFL drives betting as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and so
the time of year is right. We're inside, not as much here, but cold weather.
Yeah.
And then the brands are so strong. And also, if you're a baseball fan like Jay is, that it's hard to keep track of games every day. And the NFL is like, we got one game a week. Now it might not be on Sunday now, but it's easier to keep track of. Every game is an event.
Every game, exactly. And like if you miss an NBA game, well, they got another one tomorrow.
Yeah,
right. You're not missing. And so with 17 games, every game matters too.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have we heard about the NBA really doesn't begin until after Christmas? Like you don't start paying attention till then. That's why we got the in-season tournament. The NFL week 1 is just as important as week 10. These games are important.
Yeah. So it's just kind of in our rhythm of our, the way we live our lives now. The NFL fits into that a lot better than a lot of other major sports.
Let me ask you this. Is there oversaturation with the NFL at all? Like, they went with the Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like, is it too much? Personally, I'm asking you.
Yeah, a little bit. Because to me, like the first wild card weekend, you end up with some teams in there that are like, they shouldn't be in there. And you end up with some bad games. But clearly the ratings show that if I feel that way, which I do, definitely in the minority.
Yes. In the minority. And you got 14 teams out of the 32 making the playoffs. And so that's one thing I think the NFL does better than the other leagues. You look at the NBA, more than half the teams make some sort of postseason. And so that sort of devalues the regular season in a way. And so the NFL does a good job, I think, of making sure every game matters and every game is important.
Yeah, every game's going to be important the rest of the year for the Kings, right? If they get Siakam without knowing if he's going to stay or not. It just theoretically.
I mean, it's fun to talk about. You're right. It gives us content. And the fact that we're playing them tonight.
Yes.
Of all days, Shams dropping this. It's when Pascal is in town. Raptors brass reportedly is here as well.
Maybe he dropped it because Emil was right. It's going down tonight. Maybe that's why Shams dropped it tonight.
I'm just a skeptic, man. I'm a pessimist in life, I guess.
You've seen too many of these trade rumors and things over the years.
I have. That's the thing. And for this to be out there, think about it. Did you hear about the Knicks Raptors trade beforehand?
Surprised by that.
Right, exactly. So
even the guy that we talked to today, Mark Jones' brother, Paul Jones, was an announcer for the Raptors. Like, no, I didn't see that coming.
Right, exactly. And so that's why I'm gonna hold back my excitement a little bit. That's just me.
And then I think, Jay, did you still have a question on the Siakam front? All right, we'll get to a question from Jay when he's got one ready. But it's a lot of fun to talk about, and it is going to be interesting to see how fans react tonight. Like as you mentioned, somebody in the chat's wondering, how do we respond when Siakam's introduced tonight?
And I'm on the call tonight, and I'm gonna
how do you handle that?
I don't want to handle it. That's the thing. This complicates my, because I know all this information. We know what's out there, but during the broadcast, you just have to ignore it.
And you're actually limited to a degree,
right?
Right?
You can't say, what can you say? You know? And so it'll be a weird feeling calling the game with the cloud of trade rumors. In the back of your mind, you're wondering, oh, is this these guys' last game? With the Kings, whatever, and so.
But you can't you? I mean, obviously better than I. You could say something like, he's been linked in reports, broadcast reports today, potentially.
I could, but I wouldn't.
Out
of respect for the guys.
Yeah.
Like, I would say something like Pascal Siakam, the subject of trade rumors, but I wouldn't mention our guys in those trade. You know what I mean? Like, I would say Siakam, the subject of trade rumors as of late, and I'd probably just leave it at that.
Sure.
Open-ended. Open-ended, right.
Because it's factual that's happened, but
exactly. And, like I said, with our guy, Jake Fisher and Kevin O'Connor, like they've mentioned specific names. I wouldn't,
the other thing, and we'll
that,
get to the phones in just a moment. The other thing that can happen sometimes with this, one guy just happens to piggyback another.
Right. That
and
happens too.
Seems like, from our view, it's like, well, that guy said it, and then he said it, and he said it.
Right.
When it looks like, well, there must be something going on. When in reality, sometimes it's just one guy said it,
and then
someone else picked it up.
Yeah, exactly. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. And I see it on there right now. Like multiple Twitter accounts are like, the Sacramento Kings have interest.
Things get aggregated.
And then the
aggregators get in there.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk to TC here on Sactown Sports. TC, you're on with Drapes and Whitey. What's up?
Drapes and Whitey, what's going on? Y'all got me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
TC.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, look, so what's going down? Like I was trying to tell y'all, man, Monty is real patient. You know what I'm saying? Monty told Missouri, you know what I'm saying? Wait till you guys in town, man. Bring the whole front office so we can sit down and get a deal done, man. And and strike a deal. You get what I'm saying? Because we was in on OG, but then I'm thinking if I'm Monty, I'm like, you know what, Missouri, go ahead and deal OG, get some guys that you want to get. You know what I'm saying? Because Missouri is probably like, well, I'm only giving you OG if you're giving me Keegan. But you can get Siakam without a Keegan deal. You get me? That's I mean, it's all talk. But where there's smoke, there's fire, bro. And there's a lot of smoke behind this situation with these guys in town. So I'm telling you right now, you guys don't got to get happy. I'm happy for you. Look, there will be a deal done tonight. It might not break during the game or right after the game, but around 10 o'clock tonight when the news get ready to come on and everybody just chilling like, oh, the Kings won. Man, we won by 1 point or something. It's going to be breaking news, bro. Watch. Siakam and Sack. For sure. They working out the kinks, man. They working about the picks now. Those 3 players work, but it's about the picks. I seen a 2027 first round pick, and just to make it juicy, we might even throw in a second or 2 seconds. To me, that's not too much for Siakam, bro. That's just enough for that dude. I'm not giving up. If we ain't giving up Keegan or none of the core, we just giving up those 3 guys and some picks. Run that deal ASAP.
Thank you, TC.
Right.
If they win tonight, I'm going to suggest that TC light the beam because last 2 days
right?
He's been all over this.
He's been all over it, and I don't know, man. The thing about this,
I forgot about the second rounder.
Yeah, the second. Let me ask you this. I thought Pascal Siakam would command more than OG Anunoby. Did you agree with that? Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, he just has more. His resume is more impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. The Knicks gave up 2 young guys that could average 20 plus a game for OG and the second round pick.
Mm-hmm. And the second rounder was a Detroit second rounder,
which
right?
is a very good second rounder.
Uh-huh.
So we got to at least start there as the package for Pascal and then add more.
You know why that could be? Again, I don't know. If OG lets somebody know through whatever channels that there's a good chance I'll
resign with you.
Yeah. I really would. I'm not promising anything, but I would
give up more. And,
Okay. Whereas Siakam, we know, has said, I ain't promising anything to anybody.
Man.
So that would affect what you could get. That would affect the value.
Let me go on record as saying I hate this time of the NBA season because everybody and their mom is going to have an opinion. Everybody and their mom is going to have a source, and we're going to be chasing them like cats running after their own tail or something. I'm the Grinch. I'm pouring water on everything. Until it happens, I'm not going to get too high like that, Kings fans. I'm going to be level-headed about this one.
How big is tonight for the Kings? How big is tonight for De'Aaron Fox? We're back with that. And more from the Golden One Center when the Drive Guys return on Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10, 5, touchdown!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-775-5622. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-775-5622. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-775-5622. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for by Cars R Us and Find the Children.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back, January 18th at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Find the best selection of boats, side-by-sides, campers, and accessories, all at special prices. And get to your next adventure in style. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, January 18th through 21st at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Cal Draper and Kevin Gleason just getting ready for the game tonight, doing our show from the Golden One Center. You know, breaking down what's going on with the Warriors and who could be available there and talk about that tremendous game last night, Milwaukee and San Antonio. And then it hit like a blue bolt.
Yeah.
A report from Shams. Where was that? On broadcasting?
That was on Stadium.
Yeah. That the Kings are in on Siakam. And the Kings are pursuing Siakam. What is we'll get to the actual report. The wording, though, was what was so meaningful about the actual wording that he used? It was that they're interested. They're all. What did he say exactly?
I don't. Can we?
Yeah,
Jay, you got that again, man.
Jay's busy with some. You got that, Jay? The Shams cut.
Jay's busy right now. He's trying to figure out.
He's working on actually the Kings broadcast here.
I forget how.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it one more time. This is what Shams said, reported about an hour and a half ago about Pascal Siakam.
The Raptors are ramping up trade talks around Pascal Siakam, and I'm told the Sacramento Kings are emerging as a serious suitor in Siakam. They're among the offers and options that Toronto has, and this is a gaining interest for Sacramento to pair and combine a big three of Pascal Siakam, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis if they're able to pull a deal off. But what could be a very integral part of these conversations with Siakam is he is on an expiring contract of about $38 million, and his willingness and his desire to re-sign as a free agent in July, whether that's in Sacramento or another team that he does get moved to, that is going to play a big part in this that could play a major role in this. For if that team that's trying to get him is going to want to check into whether he will resign as a free agent. And if not, that could also dissuade some teams.
Nuggets there. Yeah. Raptors are ramping up trade talks, and the way he phrased it was a little awkward, but there's growing interest in Sacramento of putting together a big three of Fox, Sabonis, and somebody, in this case, Siakam.
So did he say they were progressing in talks, like they were close to a deal, or
the
way he
it was implied. He said the Raptors are ramping up talks, which they're okay. So talks are ramping up, and he said the Kings are in, and the Kings have a growing interest. I think he said they're gaining in interest in putting together the big three.
And to me, what that signals, they're going for it.
Yeah,
this year. There's no.
Some sure seems to think so.
Right. If this trade happens, that means they are going for it this season, trying to make a deep run, Western Conference Championships, NBA Finals this year. And so this patient, let's let guys develop and everything like that. The timeline is now. Maybe they're striking while the iron's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all love Pascal Siakam as a player, right? Like we love Pascal. 29 years old, turns 30, I believe, in April. All-star level talent, is on a tear as of late as well. And I was looking at some of his numbers here, Whitey, as of late. I mean, this guy has been virtually unstoppable. When you look at over his last 6 games against the Kings, 24 points. He had 24 against Memphis and 7 rebounds. Last year, he had 51 games of 20 or more points. He's converted over 55% of his shots in 5 straight games. Over his last 5, he's averaging 29 points per game. And so he would immediately, in my opinion, come in and be that second scoring option for this team.
Kevin O'Connor wrote today, he tweeted, what was it? I come in peace, Sacramento.
Yeah,
he talked about the possibility of that deal and how good of a fit Siakam would be. He did mention that Siakam doesn't seem to have as much interest in playing defense this year, but that appears to be a controllable. It's not that, he's struggling defensively, just something that presumably a change of scenery would address. You mentioned something to me and on the air a couple weeks ago, and I know you didn't want to divulge your source. At least I think that's the case. Somebody in the NBA told you Siakam would be a great fit with the Kings, right? You told me.
Did I say that? Yeah. It was
a
couple of weeks ago. He'd be perfect. They love Siakam. Yeah, okay, Siakam's Siakam to me is the type he could fit in any system. Like, he's that good. He could fit at Golden State as a role guy, as a mid-range guy. He'd have to work on his three-point shooting, but he can knock it down as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he is, and especially the fact that Toronto is sort of going with the youth movement now. Like, look at the players they just traded for. Quickly and RJ Barrett, 23 and 21, I think it was. Scotty Barnes is 21, 22, and so their young core is like 21, 22, 23, and so who do we have that fits into that? Davion. They do need, some defensive help in the backcourt, I think he could help them there. Kevin Huerter is only 25 years old. People forget that. We look at Kevin Huerter, feel like he's been around forever. He's only 25 years old. And so I don't know, man. I'm going to sit back, get my popcorn where it's at right here. My Kings popcorn.
Another reason why Toronto could be motivated to make the deal sooner rather than later is if they thought that whatever they end up with, they could make another deal. I don't really see that clearly, but that would be if they said, we get whatever they get from the Kings. We get that. We can move that and get something else we like. I don't know. It's a possibility. Right. What do you think of this here? This idea from Nick K in Ripon. Fans at the game need to start a Pascal Siakam chant. Half the crowd says Pascal. The other side follows Siakam all game long. Maybe a little early for that? Or
that would be, no, it's a little early. I hope we better not do that, Sacramento. I'm not allowed. We better not do that.
You would get up during your broadcast.
I'd be like Greg Popovich. Like, we're better than
road slash.
How disrespectful would that be to our guys? Like, we better not do that. That would be so disrespectful to our guys who are, have put in years of service. I'm watching HB out there working out right now, getting up some shots. Harrison Barnes working on his mid-range game. And so I hope Sacramento, we don't do that.
Yeah. And we know, someone mentions, Siakam's a free agent. Yeah. That's one of the keys to the whole thing.
Right.
That actually, the fact that it would be so risky for the Kings to acquire him is perhaps what gives the Kings a chance to acquire him in the first place.
100%. Right. And that's, if they're willing to take that gamble.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine a lot of teams aren't. It's sort of like the Carmelo Anthony situation. You remember a few years ago when Carmelo was with Denver, the Knicks went all in to get Carmelo, traded young assets when he was going to go there anyway after the season.
Yeah.
And so there might be a Lakers, a Knicks, or whatever the team, Miami, who say, you know what?
Yeah.
We're not going to give the assets because we know he's going to come here this offseason.
Yeah. Why give up something to get him? We're going to get him anyway.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and if you're the Kings, well, maybe we'll change his mind. Maybe we'll have enough success this year that it'll be worth it. Interesting thing about Toronto to me is that you were just describing the moves they made. It looks like they're trying to do that very, very delicate dance of moving off of two of their best players, and rather than rebuilding or turn it down, they're still trying to stay relevant in the meantime.
Yes.
And that's hard to do.
But I think they're doing a great job with that so far, because what you're doing is you're sort of resetting your timeline on the fly. You know, they just won the championship in 2019. You know, that was one of those one-year rentals with Kawhi and things like that. Now you got a couple of big-name guys, veterans, that you move off of, but you're bringing in young 21, 22 with tremendous upside. So you're not going to bottom out. You're going to become basically the Orlando Magic, let's say. Be competitive, and as these guys grow and get experience, that's when you turn into a championship contender.
Yeah. We're looking forward to tonight, the Kings and the Toronto Raptors. And how,
So let me get this straight. I want people on record here.
Yeah.
Whether it's on the YouTube, on the phone, whatever, the text line, and you, Whitey. You're okay with trading for Pascal Siakam, giving up some of the players being mentioned, a couple of first-round picks with protections for just the opportunity to keep him at like it could be a 3-month rental, 4-month rental. You're okay with that?
I would do that. The 2 picks makes me a little reluctant. If it's just 1 pick, I'm all in. 2 picks, I'm not all the way there, but I think I would. So, yeah. 2 number ones in the
2 number ones. And basically, you're
definitely one I'm in on.
And basically,
with protections,
with the moves you made, you really have no other assets to trade. This is your roster. This is, because the players being mentioned and the picks, then your cupboards are bare. This is who you got. And mind you, because somebody mentioned this, and I'll point this out also, you got to resign Malik Monk also.
Right. Oh, if I sign
$20 million
Siakam and he bolts, I don't have to worry about how much money.
But if he stays, does that
that's a good problem to have.
But does that hurt you in re-signing Malik Monk?
Well, can I re-sign him for any?
You can, but are you willing to?
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about. You got $40 million for Sabonis, $40 million for Siakam, $35 for De'Aaron Fox, and Malik Monk at 18 or 20. That's 4 guys at, I can't do the math in my head fast enough, $120 million. Are we willing to do that?
Yes, but of course the best answer to that is you don't have to make that decision yet. You do it and then you see, does it work? Is it promising, or is it for whatever reason fall flat, or does Siakam just decide to bolt?
I tell you what, I'm sitting here and I'm envisioning Siakam in purple. And I'm getting a little excited. I'm trying.
Even the Grinch, the trade Grinch is getting excited.
I'm just looking out there, man. Imagine Pascal Siakam on the court warming up right now in Sacramento Kings gear.
Woo. Yeah. Hey Jay, we'll keep it right here if we can.
He's coming around. Of course, we got you.
We'll keep it right here. How big is tonight, Drapes, for of course the Kings, but for De'Aaron Fox, who struggled the last couple of nights, especially the last game?
I think it's huge. I think, just from a getting back to playing well, getting back to being that dude. He's had 2 games of subpar shooting. I think it was 9 for 25 in the Charlotte game, 6 of 22 last game. I want to see him get back. It looked like he was dealing with something, whether it was fatigue or whatever it may be last game. I don't think it's massive in terms of this, if he struggles tonight, no way we could win. I just think with De'Aaron, I would like to see him be elite every night, just for the narrative, just for the MVP conversation, just for the all-star votes, all of that.
Monday, our good friend, Michael Pina, comes out with a report in the Ringer, the story about how De'Aaron Fox is just lights out from distance. Yeah. Lights out this year. Shooting better than Steph Curry. Well, he's 3 for 15 on threes since that came out. last
Right.
year.
Is
3
that
for
the Michael
15.
Pina jinx or something like
I
that?
guess so.
You know?
Yeah, 3 for 15. That's A, it's not going to get it done, but B, I think we know that that's not De'Aaron Fox anymore.
Right, exactly. When I watch De'Aaron Fox shoot the ball now, he looks like a three-point shooter, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Like his shot looks good. Him and Luke Laux worked this offseason on getting arc on his shot and getting balance when he goes up. And so that's what we've seen so far. And so, and his confidence from three. And so 3 of 15 the last couple of games, I get it. You know, he struggled, but even if he's not a 40% shooter, 38%, you know, like he's a legit 3-point shooter now.
You know how after every game we have Drape's Takes? We love Drape's Takes. Yeah. I want to try something new today that we could do the day of games.
Ooh.
Whitey's 3 wishes.
Oh, okay.
All right, so this is what I'm wishing to see
Let
tonight.
me see. Let me hear it.
Hold on, we need a little music now. Let's pick it on the spot.
Oh, he got some music? All right, Jay. Jay, you in charge of that, right?
Yeah. If you wish upon a star.
No, that ain't it. We need a little something more aggressive.
Yeah, I don't know what has wishes in it. There's a Chicago song.
Skilo, I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a ball. You know, we're getting there. We're getting there. Right?
Yes. Yes. I was, thinking something more from my era, but
Okay,
I'm fine
all right.
with, no, that's better. What you have is better than some of the things I thought of. But this is just, this is just the pilot episode.
Okay, let's hear it.
So Whitey's 3 wishes for tonight. 1, I want to see Harrison Barnes come out tonight and play like he's heard all the rumors. And I want to see him play like, you want to trade me for that guy? I'll show you why you don't want to do that. And I want to see him score in double figures. And I want to see him defend Siakam, force Siakam into an inefficient night. I want Harrison Barnes to show us tonight that he wants to be here and doesn't want to get traded for Pascal Siakam. I want him to play
all right,
big.
I'm with that.
I want him to have a big game tonight.
I wish that too, because if he does that, probably a win then.
Yes.
You know, and so, you know, I'm a huge HB fan, watching him getting up some shots right now. I'd like to see a 20-point game from Harrison Barnes. Elite defense on the other end. Think about it. If he shuts down Siakam, a big FU kind of move.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
All
You know, Harrison sometimes he's playing okay, but there are a few nights where it's like, whoa, what got into him?
Yeah.
I want to see one of those nights.
Take it personal out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
My second wish, I want to see Chris Duarte or Herter or somebody just seize that 2-guard spot. Just come out and show us that it's my job now. You don't have to worry about it. Play well, play defense, stay on the floor. Duarte, of course, in the last game, he got into early foul trouble.
Yeah.
We know Kevin Herter has struggled, and apparently he's still dealing with a little finger issue, which is understandable. But this is going, a revolving door at the 2-guard spot has gone on too long. Let's see somebody tonight lock it down and show that this is my job.
So you want that question answered?
Yes.
You that unknown. After tonight, we're going to know.
Yeah, and I don't even care who it is.
You don't care?
I assume we don't even know if Duarte's starting again.
No, we don't.
Right?
I would assume he is.
Me too.
You know, we'll find out shortly. Mike Brown's talking, about to sit down and talk here in a couple of minutes, but I think it's going to be Duarte. And I thought Duarte in that Charlotte game did a great job.
Yep.
He was fantastic. But then on Wednesday, he got the 2 fouls, and it was just a non-factor.
Yeah. So we don't need him to go out and score 30 or anything, but we just need him to be solid at both ends.
You know what I would want from him? Knock down a couple of threes.
There you go.
Like you said, you don't have to score 30, but when it gets swung to you and you got to look, knock it down.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
My third and final wish. I wish for the Kings to get up and down the floor and get some easy baskets in transition. That should be easy for this team.
That's what they want to play fast. They want to get up and down. They want to score easy buckets, but it has not been. They're 25th in fast break points.
Charlotte slowed them down to a southern drawl, baby.
Right.
You know what
Some of
I
that
mean?
sweet tea with molasses in it. You know, nice and thick. And what's interesting about tonight, the Raptors are the #1 fast break team in the league. So I'm looking for a track meet. Let's run with them. Let's go.
Right.
We got the horses. Let's do it.
Right. Get the easy basket.
Yep.
So often
I'm
the Kings struggling with the defense. Let's see them rebound, get out, run, push it. Easy baskets tonight. Get the game tilted in your favor early and coast to a victory tonight. Those are Whitey's 3 wishes for tonight.
Do we got the music playing, Jay? You know you can crank it up, Jay. You got it all low like it's elevator music. Come on, we trying to party out here. I like that.
I don't think it's too much to ask for.
Now, you're not asking for the world. You just asking for HB to show a little light, show some post tonight.
Yeah.
Show you
If
hearing
not
that.
tonight, win.
Right, exactly. Asking for Duarte, Kevin Herter, make some shots, own the position, take the position. And Sacramento, they've been talking all year long about wanting to play fast. Let's see it out there on the floor tonight.
Right. Should be an entertaining game. And make no mistake, as you said earlier, this is probably not an easy game for the Kings.
Not an easy game. This Raptors team, 2-0 since the trade. And I mentioned it earlier. And Paul Jones came on, radio announcer for the Raptors. A win-win for the Knicks and for the Raptors. The Raptors added R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley. Emmanuel Quickley in the 2 games with Toronto, averaging 20 points per game. They have 4 guys in the starting lineup that can go off for 25 or more on any given night. This is going to be a tough test. Ignore the stats. Ignore the 17th offensive rating, which Toronto is. I need to look at the last 2 games, and I'm going to pull it up here in a second. This team is a much better team, I think, after this trade than they were prior to.
They've only had 2 games, right, as currently constituted, which in a way, and I know it's the NBA and that's just the way it goes, but in a way it's a difficult thing to scout a team like this.
It really is. And we had Jordi Fernandez on as well. You know, when you look at this Raptors team, how, you know, who are they? You know, they've only been together not even a full week since the trade, and it's hard to scout. You know, I think what you do is you look at the individual players, like R.J. Barrett likes to get downhill, likes to, you know, get into the paint. Emmanuel Quickley, I think Paul Jones called him Tyrese Maxey Light, you know, and so you try and scout them in that regard. But it's going to be a tough matchup, man. Not a whole lot of film on these guys. And they got a new head coach in Igor Rajakovic. And so you don't know his system. You don't know his style.
They call him Darko, right?
Yeah, Darko,
Okay.
I meant.
Yeah.
Darko. I'm sorry. Yeah, Darko Rajakovic. And so this is all new with this Raptors team this year.
We've had some fun with the trade talks. And again, just to sum that up, you know, Shams today said publicly that Toronto is ramping up trade talks, and the Kings have growing interest in putting together their own big 3, which would be Sabonis, Fox, and then one more. So, you know, crossing the I's and crossing the T's, not the I's.
Yeah.
It looks
Doing
like
that
maybe
too, right?
we're not sure which one we're doing. Actually, looks like there may be some room between the 2 teams, but as Kyle points out, it doesn't seem like the way the Kings operate, that we hear about these big trades before they happen. So we could be skeptical, but I think if you're a Kings fan, it's exciting. We talked about Wiggins maybe becoming available.
Yeah.
The thing is, it does seem like the Kings are definitely in on some potential big moves here with the deadline looming.
Yeah, and you know, I said it earlier, it looks like they're going forward.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that they are in the market, let's say, in the running for Siakam, in the running for OG when he was available, maybe they are looking at the top tier guys, the Levines, the Siakams, instead of those second or third tier guys that we thought maybe would be more likely, you know, the Matisse Thybulles and things like that. And so Siakam would be swinging for the fences. That's like, you know what, we're going for it right now. And I don't know if that's a mandate from ownership, Monty's vision, or what, but that would be exciting as a Sacramento Kings fan.
So many times over the years, we hear the Kings linked to this guy or that guy, and so often it's just garbage, trash. But and that's why, you know, Levine, I don't think so. I know that supposedly they liked Kuzma, but the Siakam thing makes so much sense because just from a basketball standpoint, he's such a good fit for them.
He really is. And, you know, as much as, you know, I talk about Pascal Siakam being the second option and things like that, like this year, he's only averaging 16 shot attempts per game. Now, Kyle Kuzma, conversely, who we think
he's averaging 16 shots a quarter.
A quarter, right? Yeah, I'm going to pull it up right now. Kyle Kuzma is a ball hog, you know? And so I think Siakam, and I said it earlier, can fit in any system out there. Kyle Kuzma, looking at his stats right now, nice player, 19. So he's taking almost 3 more shots a game than Pascal Siakam. And so let's say Siakam comes here. That's 16.4, 16.8, whatever, goes down to 15. That's still fine.
It also depends who's out. And some of
who's
those
out.
shots are available.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when De'Aaron Fox goes to the bench, he slides into that number one option. I mean, that's a good problem to have, like a good second option, Pascal Siakam.
Yeah. He would be a tremendous fit. But time will tell as far as his free agency looming. Like I said earlier, I think what it comes down to is the fact that that's such a great risk. Maybe scares off other teams. Maybe the Kings are the last one left going, no one else wants to do this?
Right.
All right. Yeah, we're willing to assume that risk. And, boy, it would be one of the biggest trades in Kings history. But I know you're going to point it out as the trade Grinch. Getting a little ahead of ourselves, but we can't help it given the reports that are coming.
No, and it's not just some Yahoo. Like, it's
right.
Shams. He
doesn't work for Yahoo.
Right. He doesn't work for Yahoo.
That's Jake Fisher, the Yahoo guy.
Yeah, exactly. And so, no, this is it's a fun time. It's exciting. We're going to hear a lot of rumors, I think, over the next 4.5, 5 weeks. And just the fact that the Kings are being mentioned of somebody of that ilk, somebody of that skill level, Pascal Siakam. I mean, we talked about Chris Webber and the deal to bring him here. This would be like our Webber trade, to put us over the hump, if you will. And this would be massive if they do it.
What do you think we would need to see? Obviously, we know what we'd like to see from Keegan, who had a 27-point night.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Same thing I saw the other night from Keegan. And it wasn't just the shooting. It wasn't just the scoring. And I brought this up earlier yesterday in the Drapes take. The fact that his game was so varied. His shot profile wasn't just all three-pointers, I think he took, 6 threes out of the 19 shots he took, I think it was. And so we saw him dunk the ball. We saw him in the mid-range. We saw him rebounding. Like, that's what I want to see from Keegan Murray. It doesn't just always have to be settling for the three.
And the 12 rebounds.
12 rebounds. And
yeah.
I think he had 6 of them in the fourth quarter or the overtimes or whatever it was. And so that's what I want to see from Keegan Murray. He gets it up 19 times. He's going to have 20 points. Get to the foul line a few times, knock down 4 threes, and then bam, you're at 20 points. And there's no reason why he shouldn't be a 7, 8, 9 rebound kind of guy as well.
And I know the Kings are focused on tonight, but as fans, as members of the media, we can peek ahead on the schedule a little bit. Sunday, a big game for the Kings, Drapes.
Yeah, we got Zion, the Pelicans. That one's personal. We talk about that one is, you know what? Who's your daddy? They've owned us this season. And so this is a huge weekend of basketball. Hopefully they're not overlooking this one and thinking ahead to that one, because
those are the guys that knocked us out of the tournament.
In-season tournament. A trip to Vegas was on the line.
Wow.
He could have been playing slots out there at the Bellagio. And so, no, man, this is a big weekend of Kings basketball right here.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Lakers, they've fallen apart since they won the in-season tournament. Now there's talk of Darvin Ham's not connected with the players.
Right.
And it's a mess down there, too, which is, that you hate to see that.
Yeah, gosh darn it.
Oh, man.
Them, the Warriors, Sacramento, we're good. I know we got the Siakam rumors going on, but we are stable right now. It's good to be a Kings fan right
now. Yeah. Kyle Draper, I have a feeling he's going to be in fine form. Extra special Friday night fine form tonight. NBC Sports California. And, of course, we've got the G-Man with the call here. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it very much. Stick around because we've got Game Night, the High Flyer, who's a big Jeremy Grant fan.
Yeah, he's chilling back behind us. He's not coming up.
I didn't know he was there.
Yeah, he's over there. He didn't want a part of this smoke.
And Scott Marsh. Game Night next as we get you ready for the Kings and the Raptors tonight from the Golden One Center on Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a